just because there's a violation of the law, that means you have to hold someone accountable for a violation of the law in every instance?
Oh, basically, yeah. There's one thing I was thinking of, though. Neo-libertarian phalangism. I was thinking of that. Hey, don't you fucking kick me. Don't you fucking kick me. Don't you fucking kick me.
Dude, I saw your account.
I'm not
You
done.
made like this post. It had like hundreds of thousands of views.
No, that's not. I'm not him.
Oh, is it someone else? Well, I'm just going to go on to the next person. But I definitely remember that kid. I remember this kid. What? That is actually, like, honestly hilarious. I was so confused with what it was. I was like, what is this? Person is diabolical. We're going to get the next person up here real quick. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. What's up, everyone joining in from Dean's stream? I appreciate everyone joining in. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes here on TikTok, everyone. Run that shit up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
22.
Do you support Donald Trump? Push the heart.
I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I'd vote for Trump again.
Okay, for sure. And why do you support Donald Trump?
I like his stance on immigration. I also like some of the more like the stuff with the trans rights and things like that.
Okay. Wait. Sorry, my thing just disconnected. I apologize. So what specifically would you say?
So as far as immigration goes, I mean, I support legal immigration. I think illegal immigration obviously is wrong. I don't think there should be undocumented citizens in the United States. I think that there is like a way to go about it for sure. I think they can make it easier for people to get in. But I think that people that came here illegally should not be here anymore. And then as far as the trans rights and stuff, I have nothing against anybody in the LGBTQ community. I just think that, men shouldn't be in women's locker rooms. Kind of things like that.
Yeah, so like you wouldn't vote for someone who bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, or an 18-year-old came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. You wouldn't support a candidate who did that, right?
Look, I have no idea any of that happened. So if that's true,
yeah.
I mean, I would have to do research on that. If that's true, then most likely not. But
okay, I can play
again,
him bragging about it. Do you want to hear him bragging about it?
Sure.
Alrighty. Oh wait, this is one where he calls his daughter voluptuous. My bad. I meant to click on the other one.
Do you have this all saved on
stage before a show
in a file on your computer?
So you have done that. Now, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Yeah, no, I can definitely say that that's wrong. It sounds wrong. I wouldn't support that. But again, like I said,
given that you know this.
Yeah, again, no, absolutely not. I can disavow that, but I will say, just because he's done it in the past doesn't mean that it's okay for anybody else to do it, right? Like if I'm against him doing it, I'm also against other people doing it as well.
Okay, so that you don't support Donald Trump. One thing I would put on top of this is that if you force people to go into bathrooms based upon the specific biology they have, well, then you're saying trans men who are masculine presenting should be forced to go into women's restrooms because they're biologically female. And then in those situations, they're going to get assaulted. They're going to get harmed because they present as cis men.
So I actually would support more so specified transgender bathrooms. Or people that identify.
What about for areas that don't have that? And also, I don't think that's a good way of addressing this because it doesn't reduce the rate of violence, right? To do that, it reduces the rate of violence to the most degree by letting people who are specifically trans go into the areas in which they specifically identify with, which obviously, I think that is going to lead to better sets of circumstances. And now, if you force people to go into the bathrooms based upon, again, their biology, again, people who are trying to portray themselves as trans to go into these bathrooms when they're not trans in order to take advantage of people, well, that's actually more likely to happen because they don't have to change the way they present in order to be able to go into these bathrooms to do that.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that last part?
yeah, like again, trans men are masculine presenting, right? So people who are cis men trying to portray themselves as trans to go into these particular areas to take advantage of people, they don't have to change their presentation at all in order to just say that they're a trans man to go into the women's restroom. Because again, you said that trans men should go into the women's restroom because they're biologically female.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so no, I understand what you're saying. No, like I think of like I guess the most prime example. I'm not sure if you saw it in the news recently. Like, one of the main reasons why I'm actually against it would be there's a situation in California that unfolded. There's a woman at Gold's Gym. There's a man that came in, said he was a trans woman. Whatever he identifies as. Don't want to offend anybody, but came in, so they identified it as a woman. Biologically a man, was convicted of domestic violence, had broken his ex-wife's jaw, a lot of things, became irate.
So here's the issue. They shouldn't be in any bathroom, right? They shouldn't be allowed in either one, whether it's the men's restroom or the women's restroom. They should be in prison for domestic violence, right?
No, absolutely. No, I 100% agree.
So then I don't understand how this is like,
indeed.
This isn't a point to make about trans people. This is a point to make about that particular person and whether or not they should have been in those spaces. That's nothing to do with trans people in typical.
No, but he wouldn't have been allowed to. What I'm saying is, Parker, is that he wouldn't have been allowed to go into the women's bathroom if he didn't identify as trans. He would have never been in the women's bathroom and then been a liability to any of the women in the facility if he wasn't allowed into the women's bathroom.
So again, you understand that this is a problem.
And I understand you're saying it's a problem
with the law not putting people who have committed these particular types of violence in prison. It's not a problem with trans people being able to go into the areas in which they identify with.
No, I would say that it's both. Arguably, I would say that it's both. So obviously he should have done more time.
I have a question. Do you think the typical trans person is a threat?
I think I wouldn't say a threat. No, I'm just saying. So then, I'm not. Again, like I said, I have no issues with people that identify a certain way or whatever their sexual preferences are, or gender preferences are. I think that in areas like that we should go strictly based on biology.
Again, so
no matter how they present or
so then again, if it's based on biology, then one, how do you identify that, right? Going into the bathrooms, and two, you're saying trans men who are biologically female should be forced to go into the women's restroom. Are they going to have to prove?
So I presented this solution. I presented this solution of specific bathrooms for people that are either non-binary or binary or trans.
Again, one, that doesn't make sense to do that, and two, plenty of areas around the United States do not have this already. So in those instances, are you just saying trans people shouldn't go to the bathroom? They shouldn't be able to go to the bathroom?
No, I never said that. I'm saying that should be something that's adopted into our society. That since this is a growing community, that there's people that identify this way, for all parties involved, I feel like that would, because obviously trans people are persecuted.
So in instances,
and then also people.
So again, I disagree with this, but in instances in which this doesn't exist, are you saying that they shouldn't be able to go to the bathroom, or what should happen?
No, I mean, look, I think this could be less of a legal issue and more of a corporate policy issue, right? If it's public restrooms in a business.
Why are we talking about it in a political conversation?
No. I guess okay, that's fair. That's fair. I would say so.
Why is this a basis for the reason why you supported Trump if it's not something that should be legislated from a national perspective and something that's just like business to business?
No, I'm saying that it should be mandated that businesses adopt this change, but there shouldn't be legal ramifications for it as far as they should go to jail for going into a different bathroom. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying that it shouldn't be a criminal offense, but that there should be something put into places where businesses have to adopt this.
Okay,
in their corporate policy.
You're saying they have to make a new bathroom? Every business has to make a new bathroom?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. That would be my solution to that issue.
Okay, but do you realize how that would have complications from a business perspective to just add a whole new bathroom? Wouldn't it make sense to just repurpose bathrooms specifically towards gender-neutral bathrooms then?
That could also be, if you're comfortable going into a gender-neutral bathroom where there would be somebody else of an opposite sex or trans-identifying. I would say that that works as well. I just think that there should be a place where if you're a man or a woman and you don't want to be in a bathroom where there could be a chance that somebody from an opposite sex or biologically opposite sex that you have the choice not to go there.
Okay, so then again, the issue is that like a lot of these spaces don't have like the resources to just absolutely build a whole new bathroom within the context of the building they already have, right? So it's just not very practical in application for you to say that this is going to be the overall policy. So like create a whole new bathroom that does that. Now, if you wanted to make certain modifications to a bathroom, I think that would be a lot easier to be added than like literally adding a whole new bathroom to every single one of these. Like, what about, for example, an aircraft, right? Are you saying that in those circumstances? I guess, and because they're personal.
And aircraft, I mean, that's a single bathroom. So I wouldn't apply in that instance. I'm saying, I guess my main point on this, right, it's the whole argument of not only the bathrooms, right, but then there's the men and women sports thing. Like, I think that there's just a biological advantage.
So you still don't support Trump, right? You wouldn't vote for Trump?
I mean, if we're based on the clip that you showed me, no, along with some other things, right? I think that ultimately, if I went back to the election, I would still vote for Trump. I felt like he was a better choice.
Okay. So then why would you
now,
vote
based
for
on
him,
that clip?
That's the case. You said that you wouldn't vote for him.
No. Based on that clip that you showed me, because I didn't see it until just now, along with a few other things, I would most likely abstain from voting or find an independent candidate.
All right, so like we could have the conversation. You can listen to my arguments in terms of the other sort of scenarios, like about the other topics you disagree on. But since you don't support Donald Trump anymore, I am going to go into the next person. I appreciate.
Well, can I ask you a question? Before you boot me, can I ask you a question?
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to go into the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria, again, listed in the TikTok screen. Alrighty, to give it a second. Let's get the next person up here. By the way, everyone, live should be a little bit shorter today. I think I'm going to do like 3 hours or so today. Because, I love you, Parker! I am going to go see Dean, and we're going to hang out later, so that will be fun. But yeah, so let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen.
Hello, how are you today?
Yo, what's up, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
And what's your birth year?
2007. I didn't vote last election.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because there's a lot of, recently, I will say a lot of the stuff that he's been doing, I do not agree with. So I'm kind of in the middle right now, but my house, the way I grew up, it was always very conservative, very Christian. So it's kind of just the way I grew up. I kind of adapted to it. But lately it's like the stuff he's doing and the stuff I'm seeing, I'm like, I don't know. But I still think the stuff Kamala was saying she was going to do, I don't agree with either. So I kind of just wanted to get on here to see, like, if you could change my mind in any aspect.
Sure. Is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
I think the number one thing is if he keeps doing this stuff with, like, Palestine and stuff. Like, I do not agree with it. And, like, the team of the White House, like, how they're being so unprofessional on social media and the media in general, like, I don't like that. The way I grew up, it was like politics was not how it is portrayed today.
Okay.
I feel like.
Okay. So then I think that already you have enough reason to not support Donald Trump because he quite literally has been doing the most unprofessional stuff, but also called for the execution of some Democrats because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders.
What do you mean by that? Like,
yeah, he reposted someone on Truth Social saying HANG them, George Washington would.
That's crazy. I did not see that. I've been seeing it's still up. I'll go take a look at it because I mean, I don't follow the White House TikTok at all, but you know, people repost stuff. So I see the stuff with like ICE and immigration and all that. And I just think it's portrayed so disrespectfully. I feel like if you look at the statistics for like previous presidents, they've also deported illegal immigrants, but I feel like now it's just being portrayed as like a good thing, and I don't think it's ever been a good thing, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so it does seem like you don't really support him then, right?
I mean, I do, but I just don't get into politics as much because I'm just so young.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're old enough to vote, right?
Now I am, but I wasn't in the previous election, so now I am.
Yeah, so I guess it would be good enough reason to get involved now. Now, in terms of like for immigration, because you did just bring that up, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that the current immigration policy is the same as what's existed historically. Of course, I can disagree with how Democrats historically have gone about deporting people, but I definitely do think that Trump is violating people's due process rights to a greater extent and constitutionally protected rights to privacy. I think that those are important rights to uphold, and I think that Donald Trump undermining them is something that we haven't seen to this degree with other presidents. Right, like for example, expedited removal under the Biden-Harris administration, under the Obama administration, was applicable to people who are in the country for less than 2 weeks and are within 100 miles of a border. And now it's applicable to anyone within the jurisdiction of the country that's been within the country for less than 2 years. So it's a significant expansion in the violation of people's due process rights. So I think that there's a significant significant distinction between both of their policies, although I still disagree with Democratic policies in deporting those that have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes. Although Democrats do advocate for a quicker legal pathway. So I agree with Democrats more than Republicans. Also, I mean, you can also look, Trump is making light and joking and making statements that are honestly atrocious about someone who is Democrat affiliated that was murdered. Did you hear about that?
No, I have not.
Yeah, so there was a person who I think they've been affiliated with a bunch of TV shows and movies and sort of directive development, and they were Democratic affiliated. And Donald Trump has been making light of their death and saying that they had quote unquote TDS on Truth Social.
Yeah, I think I've heard Dean talk about it a few times because I do watch his videos, and then I also watch all kinds of different debates on TikTok, and I'm trying to get more educated, but I just know how I grew up, and I know I grew up in a very Christian household. And I feel like with society today, it's you can't really, you kind of have to pick a side, but I feel like I'm kind of in the middle with different things, if that makes any sense.
Well, if you're in the middle, then you are not represented by the absurd and extremist rhetoric of Trump. You have to acknowledge if you're in the middle that you're against this.
Yes, I do.
This doesn't cause unity. This doesn't cause people to compromise and to come together and to make a better society, right? So if you're in the middle, you should be able to stand against this, right? You shouldn't be in the middle on everything, no matter what the views are.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense.
Sure. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about or add before I go into the next person?
I don't think so. Thank you very much.
Sure. Appreciate you coming up.
And I hope you have a great day.
You as well. Let's go on to the next individual real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's up, man? You can address me just as Muff. You ain't got to say the whole name. I know it might be a little weird, but I'm 29 years old. The whole you can just say Muff. You don't have to say the whole name.
Okay, for sure.
I'm 29, by the way.
Yeah, and do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I kind of share a lot of what that person before me said too. I mean, I do support Donald Trump to an extent of the America First stuff, but not necessarily to your point, the extreme bogus rhetoric that you kind of see on, the Truth Social stuff and whatnot. But I do have a lot of views that I think that he is correct on, and which I think correctness is not necessarily a thing. Everybody that comes on here really views this as a right versus left thing, and I don't really believe that it's a right versus left thing. It's really a good versus evil thing, in my opinion. But
but if the evil is Donald Trump, then obviously what would that indicate? It would be my point. And I would say that Donald Trump's not America first. He's the rich first. He cares more about giving massive tax breaks disproportionately to millionaires and billionaires than he actually cares about satisfying the needs of the population as a whole. And I would say that they actually negatively impact people in that respect. Like, for example, the big, beautiful bill is cutting 420,000 children on average every month off of free school lunch and breakfast, on average every month. 2.5 million people off their access to food stamps on average every month. Over 10 million people off their access to health insurance, and while adding $3.4 trillion to the debt. I think that his tariff policy has led to increased costs for American consumers, which are disproportionately negatively impacting lower and middle income individuals because they spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods, while simultaneously negatively impacting GDP growth, the labor market, and the amount of new jobs created. Right. So I think that obviously these are like things that are detrimental to most people. So I don't think that this is really a benefit for America or America first. I think it's the rich first.
Well, first of all, I do appreciate your standpoint on this. Thank you for speaking about that. And I know you're very adamant about it, and I appreciate that. What I would say to your point is somebody's got to start the chain, right? Where you may not feel that he's America first, the first person that does break the cycle of massive corruption and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to look like the good guy. So your point is saying that, well, Trump can't be the good guy because of all this bad stuff, but you refuse to acknowledge that the left doesn't necessarily pose as the good guy either. What I am saying is I do understand how the left is more socially acceptable because they are more accepting of people of multiple nationalities, and they, wide open borders, bring everybody into the country, this, that, and the other. Everybody's got a place here. And that's totally fine. I understand that. But there does come a point where a massive influx of people can negatively affect our GDP and our economy and this, that, and the other. It does take jobs away. It does bring people that are willing to take jobs at less pay than American, hardworking people. And they may not even have, like you were saying, due process needs to be increased. I agree with that. I mean, faster systems for people honestly coming into the country to look for, legal ways to enter America for a better chance at life and this, that, and the other. Those people do need to be expedited through because they're here for a good reason. But people that come over here under visas and never want to get citizenship, they just sit in this never-ending pool of waiting and reapplying for visas and this, that, and the other, and they never actually have a goal to become a U.S. citizen and be a contributing member of the nation legally. I would say those are the people that, he's trying to get rid of. And yes, I see on social media, it can be swayed any way that you look at it. But I do believe that what is going on in that regard is for the betterment of America in general. And I do believe that it'll have massive impacts on the global level too. It's at a certain point. I think that bringing organization and prosperity back to America will in turn help the world be more organized and more prosperous.
So I actually think that he's definitely not going against corruption. I think he's promoting more corruption to exist. Like, for example, he reduced tariffs on Switzerland because they gave him a gold bar and a Rolex clock. Obviously, I think that's indicative of corruption. I think that's very blatant and clear. We can also point to the fact that Democrats aren't advocating for quote-unquote wide open borders. Democrats are actually pretty strict on the border. They just have a lesser priority for those that have not committed violent crimes and deemable as bad crimes enough to deport people. Right? In those situations, they still do deport individuals that meet that criteria, just at a lesser extent comparative to the Trump administration proportionally. Also, we could point to the fact that they utilize a greater level of due process. So although they still are pretty strict on the border, they agree with my position more. I would agree that everyone in the country who's undocumented who hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country, because it would create a condition where more people are vetted, go through the legal process, and are given and are identified by authorities, which makes it safer for them and safer for society as a whole. because over 70% of people who have been detained by ICE have no prior criminal record. Only 5% of those that are detained by ICE have a violent criminal record. So the point I'm making is that border enforcement, law enforcement can spend more of their time focusing on those that are actually a threat to the safety and security of our communities, rather than those that are just coming here for the American dream, a better life, and to help out their communities and work here. Now, they're not taking jobs and negatively impacting GDP. They actually create jobs as well. So not only is there more people fulfilling jobs in our country when more people immigrate here, but they also create a demand for labor to a greater extent because there's more people consuming products, which then also creates more jobs. Because if there's a greater demand for labor, that's going to cause businesses to increase their productive capacity to be able to account for that increase in the demand. And then also they don't lower wages. There's actually pretty good evidence that I can send you that if anything, they have a slight positive impact on wages. Over the last 20 plus years, we've seen the same trend, even under the Biden-Harris administration. I can show you a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research that indicates a slight positive impact for natural-born U.S. citizens in terms of their wages, given the amount of influx in immigration that we've seen over the past 25 years or around that. Which I think that kind of debunks the whole idea that they lower wages and take jobs. I don't think that there's any evidence for that. There's also associated with higher levels of employment for natural-born U.S. citizens as well. So actually many jobs that American citizens work actually rely on the labor of undocumented immigrants. So if you got rid of undocumented immigrants, it would actually reduce the amount of jobs for natural-born U.S. citizens as well, as again, them working actually makes our work more productive. As more people working within a company, right, creates a greater level of efficiency. Think about if you're working at a particular business, if you have other people working with you, you're going to be a lot more productive than if you are working alone.
I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that. What I want to tell you, I ran out of time here. I'd love to pick this up another time. I'll request to join another time with you, but I'm out of time right now. I appreciate you, boss man. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming up.
You're welcome, King.
Alrighty, everybody. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get out to more people. Barbara, thank you so much for $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Seriously, they are literally taking people away who are trying to go through the court system, that are showing up to their court dates as well. Literally. Let's go on to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, again, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. Let's get the next person up here real quick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I was a little impatient. Send a guest request back and I'll bring you back up.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
31.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay, what's your birth year?
94.
Okay, and if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump? Wait, have I had you on live before?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the last person, by the way, everyone? I want to make sure to bring them up because I think they said hi as soon as I kicked them. That was an accident. I kicked them that early. You're disgusting. I hope you step on Legos. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Absolutely do.
Okay. And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald J. Trump, my guy.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Well, I just don't support the agenda that the Democrats currently have right now,
Okay. And what agenda is that?
Just the whole, affirming gender identity for children that are under the age of 18, pretty much. Their brain isn't fully developed, and they cannot make a decision to, I don't know how to put it in words necessarily, but the decision that'll affect the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see how social transition would affect the rest of their life. Could you explain to me how, yeah, so if you said affirming their gender identity, if we affirm their gender identity and they have a social transition, how does that impact them for the rest of their life? And also most individuals
I'm talking about complete physical, chemical
surgery?
Alteration of their mind. Not necessarily surgery, but hormones and that type of stuff, and feeding into the delusion of it. Like, if you're a man, you're a man. What's going on?
Yeah, like, do you think it was wrong that through my doctor and my dermatologist and my parents, I could have got access to Accutane when I was 16 years old because that affected my hormones?
Okay, so Accutane has something to do with your physical, like, appearance. You know what I'm saying? It has something to do with acne, not the illusion of, oh, I want to be a girl, I want to be a boy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm just saying, like, the feeding into that illusion, it's not good for the world.
Wait, so then you're just claiming that it's delusional to have trans identity, and I'm saying that's not delusional. And I'd like you to provide any good reason to believe that.
If you're above the age of, let's just say, you know, the age whenever your prefrontal cortex is fully developed and that's what you want to do and that's a decision that you make, I believe it. Yeah. I'm gone, though. Hey, I appreciate you, Parker, for letting me join your live.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know before you go, like, again, there's nothing wrong with someone's gender identity in the same way that, like, if we reference like someone's name, right? It's a method of being able to communicate, right? A method, like an aspect of your identity, and that's similar to our names. Now, we're not denying biology when we say that, like, gender in this context is socially constructed, and it doesn't mean it has to work the same as all others.
For kids specifically.
Yeah. Again, which I think that when I was like 15 years old, I knew that I was a guy, right? In terms of my gender, I had a concept of what gender was. I think that was obvious. And again, in this context, again, you still thought I was able to get access to things that clearly affected my hormones, could impact me in the long run because it impacted my mental or physiological health in relation to like the amount of pimples I had, right? Acne in general. So like, I'm really confused as to why in one scenario you'd be okay with me engaging in something that when I was a minor that affected my hormones massively. But then apparently it's wrong after multiple years of working with doctors. By the way, it would take someone longer to get access to gender affirming care at that same age than it took for me to be able to get access to Accutane.
Yeah, like once again, Parker, you do this for a living, so I appreciate you letting me join your live. And you know what I'm saying? Here's to a great debate day. And I hope you have many blessings going forward and a great 2026.
All right, I appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria, again, listed here on the TikTok screen. Let's get the next person up here real quick. Alrighty. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Let's go on to the next individual. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Alrighty. Do give it a second, everyone. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
It looks like a hickey, but I haven't got a hickey under my chin.
Okay. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Diabolical timing on that, by the way. Diabolical timing. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Sebastian's in Parker's stream.
I don't even know what that means. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Man. If I could go back in time, I'd vote for Kanye.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria. Again, listed on said TikTok screen, everybody. Do give it a second for people to join up. Let's go into the next individual real quick. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty. Otherwise, I didn't find that one content person from earlier that I kicked right away, so they must not have meet that criteria. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
30.
Do you support Donald Trump?
100%.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
I mean, like a million different reasons. Look at here recently with Venezuela. I mean, even Joe Biden put in a seize order for a ship that he obviously couldn't under his administration seize, and we were able to seize it within like the first year of Trump's presidency. Look at all the different criminals that the FBI has been able to catch. I mean, it's we're going crazy right now. We're doing the right thing.
How do you feel about Donald Trump pardoning a seed drug trafficker that was convicted?
I mean, I don't have any idea at all about what you're speaking of, so I mean, I can't.
Yeah, the ex-Honduras president that was convicted of seed drug trafficking. How come Donald Trump pardoned them?
What was his name? I can look it up right now, real time.
Yeah, let me pull up their name again. It's been a minute since I looked. Just look up ex-Honduras president convicted of seed drug trafficking. And by the way, have you been up on my stream before?
Yeah, one time.
Okay, all right. How long ago was that?
Maybe like 3.5 months ago.
Oh, your first picture says the two people actually responsible for Charlie Kirk's unaliving, and it's a picture of me and Dean.
I actually screen swiped that from a live, but I do agree with it.
Why do you think that?
Just because like the constant hatred and rhetoric that was like completely preached about him from you guys on a daily basis, in which things, for instance, y'all would call him like a terrorist, or not really a terrorist, but like a Nazi and a white supremacist.
We never called him a Nazi. He is racist. That's just a fact. By the way, that's calling someone a racist is not inciting violence towards them. Just letting you know. Well, that's one thing. Two, as it relates to this, Donald Trump quite literally called for the execution of his political opponents. You know that, right? Like, and you still support him. I mean, execution of people who said to follow the law and to not abide by unlawful orders.
Yeah, never one time I heard him say that.
What? You never heard him say? Look at Truth Social.
No,
he reposted someone saying HANG them, George Washington.
He reposted somebody saying something.
Yeah, and he also said it was seditious and treasonous behavior. I mean, you can sit there and you can try to act dumb, but like everyone knows what he was doing there. And reposting it is just the same as posting it yourself. If I reposted something calling for the death of any individual on the right, you would say that's evidence that like I caused their death. Okay?
But like
you're grasping for straws to say, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I never incited violence at all. That is such bullshit 100%. For you to say that I incited violence. I obviously do not incite violence. No,
I've literally heard you call him a white supremacist, and that all of his ideologies
I called him a racist. And by the way, saying that he's a racist is not inciting violence.
Hold on. But then like your cult that follows you that is like obviously mentally challenged, right? Like, and they have all like they don't even know what gender they are, right? And then like
don't say that. I think we all know our gender. I think we know our gender.
And then they would, well, I mean, obviously a lot of them don't, right? And then like one of them in particular that wasn't too comfortable with his own gender decided that he was going to listen to the things that you said and believe that Kirk is this terrible person for humanity and unalived him. I mean,
Tyler Robinson is not trans. Tyler Robinson's not trans.
No, but his boyfriend is.
No. So again, the argument that again they're associated or know someone who's trans, therefore it's going to be related to trans people is absurd and ridiculous. And also to say that somehow I would. By the way, can you name one time I ever called for violence?
Yeah, every single time that you labeled him as a white supremacist, and then you would follow that up with the things that should happen.
Again, I'm going to keep repeating this. I don't know how many more times I have to. Me calling him a racist is not inciting violence. Okay, that's absurd. Again, while you say this, you support someone who called for the execution of some Democrats. So it's incredibly, it's just virtue signaling. You're a snowflake.
So then Trump asking Americans to peacefully and patriotically protest isn't inciting an insurrection.
He violently. Hold on, listen. He pardoned people who violently assaulted police officers, and he called them patriots. That's the basis for it.
I mean, show me a video of them violently assaulting a police officer.
I can't show you that on stream because it's against TOS, but they were convicted of it. They admitted to it themselves.
They were convicted under a Democrat.
The police officers talked about how this happened to them, and they said who did it. By the way, the people who did this pled guilty in a lot of these instances.
Yeah,
and it was on video in some of these instances. You need to go check out the evidence. Again, they were convicted of this. Okay. And again, I'm not even just talking about that. I'm also talking about the fact that Trump himself has called for the execution of his political opponents. I guarantee, again,
no, he has not.
Trump has also called us fascist.
Show me something that Donald Trump wrote or incited within one of his
he reposted someone
speeches.
saying HANG, then George Washington
would. Not a repost. I don't want to hear nothing about a repost.
What do you mean not a repost? Wait, so if I reposted someone calling for the death of a right-wing individual, you'd be okay with it?
I mean, was it you or your buddy that also used to say the N-word? Like, it's the same thing.
Again, let me ask you this question. Can you answer the question? If I specifically reposted someone calling for the death of a Republican, would you be okay with that?
You do it all the time.
That's not a response.
I'm not okay with like hardly anything that you say, honestly.
No, I'm asking you the question. Would you be okay if I specifically reposted someone calling for the death of a Republican?
I mean, I really don't care what you do. You have freedom of speech.
You think that's totally okay? You think that's not inciting violence?
Show me again where in Trump's words.
Answer the question. Would that be inciting violence? If I reposted calling for the death. Oh wait. If I reposted someone calling for the death of a Republican, would that be inciting violence? Yes or no?
Bro, it doesn't matter. Trump did not do that.
You can't answer this question.
You're bringing up
answer this question. Tommy, if I were to repost someone calling for the death of a Republican, would that be inciting violence? Yes or no?
It could be, sure.
It could be. You can only say it could be. No, yes or no? Do you believe it is?
Why don't you show me the post, sir?
I will. I'm asking you though. If I reposted someone calling for a Republican to be HANGED. Hey, dude, if I
don't believe anything you say. Like,
you don't believe anything I say? You haven't even seen this. You haven't even looked this up. I'll show you. But like, dude, you're just not even believing me because of me.
Is that the guy you're?
Hold up.
Is President Juan? Is President Juan Orlando Hernandez the person that you were talking about?
What? No, I'm talking about Donald
Trump of Honduras.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The ex-president of Honduras was he was convicted of sea drug trafficking. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I have it right here in front of me. Actually, it says that the prosecution was a conviction that was in the U.S. and was extremely unfair and politically motivated. It was set up by prosecutors and the U.S. legal system had treated him unjustly, especially given the complex political and law enforcement environment in Honduras.
How so? What was the unjust treatment?
I mean, I'm reading this word for word.
And by the way, it wasn't. So by the way, it's not unjustified treatment. Wait, it's not unjustified to treat people with literally death and being drone striked just based upon an accusation of trafficking DRUGS. But if they're convicted of it, they should be pardoned.
I mean, again, it was politically motivated. It's kind of like one of the political witch hunts that y'all try to like chase Trump down.
And I would say Donald Trump literally drone striking people off the coast of Venezuela is politically motivated. There's no evidence that they were guilty. Yeah. They did no evidence that they DRUGS. There was no even capacity for them to even make it to the United States in some of these circumstances. They literally weren't even traveling to the United States in some of these circumstances. And for the exact same DRUG that are bringing to the country in the worst possible circumstance that you could paint out, it again is something that you think it's okay to pardon someone who was convicted of doing that. So
again, you can't use the boats that are being used because they have been a part of a long time sting operation by the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency that have them documented using them specific boats and cigar boats as DRUGS trafficking devices.
But that doesn't mean every boat that looks like that is that way. Secondly, again, even if that is the case, you detain them once they get to U.S. waters. By the way, you detain them once they get to U.S. waters. Having a certain boat is not evidence of that.
Parker, I let you finish. Okay,
I'll let you finish.
Now, obviously, the United States Intelligence Agency is not just going to let the United States government start blasting random boats out of the water, right? Like, they have to go through several different factors to verify that that particular boat matches up with the exact same boat that is known to be trafficking. They go as far as even tracking that particular vessel back to its origins and its particular docks in which it frequents, as well as the homes and the residencies on the ocean in which it frequents. And then what do? They build a case the same way that the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency does here. They build a case and they say, okay, this is a known operations in drugs, DRUGS, whether that's in trafficking or manufacturing or whatever the case may be. And that now that they know that, we have the authority to now stop that particular vessel from entering international waters and bringing those particular substances to our country.
So again, here's a few things here. One, there was no evidence legitimate evidence that there was DRUGS. You're just making claims you're making. Let me please finish. You just said that you just made an issue about me cutting you off, but then it's okay for you to cut me off. So again, the only evidence you're pointing to is the fact that you're just saying that there were boats that look like this that had DRUGS on them in the past. That's not evidence of it. That's like saying because cargo boats in the past have brought DRUGS to our country that you're just okay with blowing up cargo boats. Okay, that's absurd. Now, again, you can detain them once they get to U.S. waters, and you can prevent them from bringing those DRUGS to our country. There's no need to murder them to prevent that from being the case. And again, if you think it's totally okay to do that just based upon an accusation, well, then you think that that would be okay to do that to the ex-Honduran president that you think was unjustly convicted. I'm done.
Yeah. So again, if you think that the United States government is just going to unjustly go start blasting random people out of the water, then you're literally off of your rocker, Parker. There's very specific things that the United States government has to establish before they can go and just start launching missiles at random vessels in the water. Like,
well, apparently they didn't do it this time.
Listen, hold on.
They have to provide evidence in Congress. They didn't do it. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to clarify that.
You're alleging that the United States had no previous knowledge or has no substantial evidence to prove that these particular vessels have been indeed used in operations that they are outlining within what they are claiming the alleged offenses are, right? So, like, at the end of the day, to say that, oh, they were not being used is crazy. Like, look at how many boats that they are allowing to use those particular international waters. For instance, I mean, I know you're going to say this is like an anecdotal case, but I have a buddy named Alex Carr that's literally right now en route back around South America and has not been targeted or blown up one time, right? Now, and I wonder why he's able to take a very similar, if not probably the same path that they're using to get back here to the United States and is not facing the potential of being blown up. Well, it's because they don't have evidence to suggest that he has been a part of an elaborate smuggling operation that's still currently ongoing. Now, I would like to finish this by asking you a question. Do you not believe that it's better for the United States government to be proactive, or would you rather than be reactive?
I would rather them detain people who specifically are accused of smuggling DRUGS to the country.
Bro.
I am directly answering it. I would rather them detain them once they get to U.S. waters. I think that is being proactive. I think that you have to understand that it's proactive to detain them and to prevent it from coming into our country. That's still proactive. You're assuming that the only mechanism for being proactive is murdering them. That's absurd. That is not good. All right.
So now, what do we do whenever
you say evidence, and you say they have evidence of this? Why don't they give that evidence to Congress? That would clear all. I'm
sure they will.
Provide the evidence.
I'm sure they will.
Well, they don't want to show the video to Congress, right? Specifically, the second ordered missile strike. They don't want to send that. And people who have seen the video have talked about the fact that there was a shipwreck, and law indicates that in that circumstance you have to rescue them. You don't send another fucking missile. Secondly, we can point to the fact that they were trying to get on top of a literally capsized boat for 45 minutes and kept trying to get up, and they couldn't. They were waving to the thing above them. They surrendered, and there was no basis for them to be able to make it to the United States. What they did was illegal. What they did was a violation of the American way, and what they did lacks any care for human life in general. They had no capacity to do anything like that or bring any of that to this country. That's not proactive. That's fucking insane. Okay? And now let me play you a video of Donald Trump demanding the execution of some Democrats just because they said to not follow unlawful orders such as the one that was just talked about, that we just literally had a conversation about. That was an unlawful order. All right, so take a look at this.
Oh, it's your boyfriend,
President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is now demanding the execution, more specifically the hanging, of any Democrat urging our military to ignore any unlawful order given to them by him. I can't believe that this is a real video. I never thought I would be reporting this headline in my life. And just to clarify, you heard me right. If you want members of our military to honor their oath and uphold the Constitution, then Donald Trump wants you dead. So here's everything that you need to know. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. He responded to a post published by the Washington Examiner titled, "Democratic Veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified unlawful..."
What?
Hey, do you see like right there where it says at the very top, the Washington Examiner?
Yeah.
So is that who made the post originally that you're alleging that he reposted?
No. Watch.
Orders by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, "This is seditious behavior, punishable by death." And then he reposted a comment.
Can you go back to the first one, please, so I can read the caption? That he said like this is very bad.
Yeah, I have to,
George.
I just want to have full context. That's all.
Yeah, I have to click back onto it.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is now demanding the execution, more specifically the hanging, of any Democrat urging our military to ignore any unlawful order given to them by him. I can't believe that this is a real video. I never thought I would be reporting this headline in my life. And just to clarify, you heard me right. If you want members of our military to honor their oath and uphold the Constitution, then Donald Trump wants you dead. So here's everything that you need to know. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. He responded to a post published by the Washington Examiner titled, "Democratic Veterans in Congress Urge Service Members to Refuse Unspecified Unlawful Orders," by saying that
this is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up, President DJT.
This is really bad and dangerous to our country, and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second.
Can you pause that real quick?
Seditious behavior, punishable by death.
No, I understand. Okay, so what he's saying, what he just said that right there is seditious behavior, and we should lock them up, right? That was his words, right?
Yeah, he said that they engage in seditious behavior and that it's punishable.
And then he should lock them up with a bunch of question marks, right? I'm just making sure that I saw that correct.
You lock someone up before you put them to death.
Okay, perfect. So you can admit that right there in that particular post, and you can also agree that there's several cases where people have been convicted of seditious behavior, such as Schmurder, in which that they didn't get put to death, right? They were given life in prison. So you can admit that he did not call for the unaliving. He rather called for traitors to spend their time in prison.
Okay. So this is dishonest because you lock someone up before you put them to death because you put them on death row. Okay.
So you're saying that every single person that gets locked up is sentenced to death?
By the way, two, it is not justified to put people in prison for the rest of their life because they said to not follow unlawful orders. That is something that you believe yourself. You believe that people who are service members should not follow unlawful orders that are given to them, right? So then again, something that you believe to be true, Donald Trump is saying is reason to put someone in not only, even if you just accepted this, just in prison for the rest of your life. That would be absurd. But the rest of this, let me please finish the rest of this. Please watch this. Okay? You need to see the rest of this. This is very relevant.
This is seditious behavior, punishable by death. And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, "Hang them, George Washington would."
Okay? So that's quite literally him reposting someone calling for the direct execution of them. Okay? You can't walk around this. You can't act like this isn't what he said. This is blatantly in the public, in front of you for you to see. If you cannot identify that, at what point will you be able to identify that the President of the United States has gone too far?
Yeah, so again, like we're going off a repost for something that he found. How do you know what he was thinking? Like
you said that I was responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, and I haven't even done anything like that. You are so dishonest. You are so dishonest. You don't give a shit about facts. You don't give a shit about actual political violence. You don't give a shit about incitement into violence. You support it yourself, and you give defense for it. But apparently, whenever I didn't even fucking do anything, and you're gonna blame me for it, and then literally Donald Trump calls for the direct execution of people, reposts it, and again, you have no fucking issue with it. Do you see how hypocritical you are? Do you see how dishonest you are? Do you see how disingenuous you are? And when you do this, it promotes a worse fucking country for all of us. That's not America first. That's not caring about our country. That's not being a patriot. You are doing everything to make this country fucking worse.
Nice crash out. Are you done?
You deserved it. You genuinely deserved it.
Perfect. Are you
You're not going to listen to anything I just said. You don't have the ability to even fucking fathom what I just told you.
I'm waiting to respond. I heard every word that you said.
Well, then you should know that you shouldn't support Trump anymore. You should know that this is your fucking line to draw on the sand. Because again, apparently because I called Charlie Kirk a racist, somehow I caused his death. But by the way, even though that has nothing to fucking do with this at all, it had nothing to do with him being murdered, right? But Donald Trump explicitly calling for the execution of his political opponents because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders. is not incitement to violence to you?
The difference is you actively, literally daily are on here with your face saying these things out of your own two mouths. Or your own mouth and listening to the things that we say, right, with your own ears, and then you rebuttal with things that are just factually inaccurate.
What? Like what? What was factually inaccurate?
100%, and I'm be happy to get into this. Okay. So, for instance, at the very beginning of that, he said that we should lock them up. That was out of his own fucking mouth, right? He personally typed that out, right, himself, and posted that and said that his beliefs were that we should lock them up. Somebody else posted something that he found humorous, or we don't know what, and then he reposted.
He's reposting death threats. Yeah, the president of the United States reposting death threats is okay to this guy and not inciting violence.
Jesus. Now, I have reposted dozens and dozens and dozens of things that I found humorous that doesn't reflect my particular carrier.
Wait, do you repost death threats? Wait, hold on, answer this question. Do you repost death threats towards Democrats? Do you think that's funny?
I mean, one time I think that I said something along the lines that we should string up Hillary Clinton by her television.
Oh! You fucking dishonest, disingenuous piece of shit. You literally straight up called for the execution of your political opponents, and yet apparently I was the one inciting violence? What are you talking about?
Millions of people that follow me and watch me daily and listen
Tommy, no one in this live stream takes you seriously at all. Not a single person. Not a single person takes you seriously because you specifically are calling for incitement to violence. You specifically have justified it yourself. But if someone made a joke like that about Charlie Kirk, you would get fucking angry. You'd say they should lose their job. You should say that they should everything worse possible that could fucking happen to someone that should happen to them. That's what you would say. If it were Charlie Kirk that they were saying that about. But if it's about some Democrat or a liberal, you're totally okay with it. You engage in that behavior yourself. You dishonest and disingenuous piece of shit.
So again, I don't have a mass of millions of people that watch me on a daily basis that I spread.
But you're on a live stream in front of 11,000 people right now.
It was something that was reposted, right? That I just thought was humorous, right? Like again, it's not something that reflects my particular.
By the way, he doesn't have a platform, but Donald Trump does, and he did it on his platform. But then he's like, "Oh, reposting, it's not a big deal."
And if something did happen to Hillary Clinton, then I would stand on the side of justice and say that whoever did that particular act should definitely receive the same exact thing that's going to happen to Tyler Robinson that unalived Charlie Kirk. I don't push for any means for any type of political persecution or violence. However, with that being said, if you look at the things that you constantly on a daily basis, even about Donald Trump's spew out of your mouth, you are indirectly inciting people to do things that otherwise they would not do. For instance, if we take a look at the people that have tried to unalive Donald Trump and the people that, or the person who ended up actually unaliving Charlie Kirk. Yeah, okay. Again, you will see that it's all leftist ideology. For instance, the LGBTQ and how come I'm not perceived as a woman.
The person who tried to unalive Trump at Butler, Pennsylvania, that was a registered Republican. Okay, and also,
and Trump was a registered Democrat until he switched to Republican.
Okay, so but what's your point with that? You just said it was.
So you're saying that people don't change their views?
You said it was all left-wing individuals. You think that they all watch? Wait, hold up. You think they all watch me?
Yes.
You think people who are watching me? Wait, what evidence do you have that they watched me and then did that?
I mean, so you're saying that somebody has to. So you're saying that somebody has to watch a particular video or be inspired by something and then immediately do the act.
Yes, they would have had to see my stuff, and then because of my they would have had to see my stuff, and because of my stuff, done that.
Let me finish. So you're saying that has to happen immediately afterwards? So, for instance, they have to immediately watch your live or watch something and then go act on it right then and there?
Did they watch my live at all?
In reality,
had they ever even seen me before?
Or in reality,
do you have any evidence that any of these people that did this have even seen my face before? Do you have any evidence of that?
And your hateful rhetoric, and then
do you have any evidence of that?
Do these fucking acts?
Do you have any evidence that they've seen my face before?
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of evidence around.
Wait, so I don't need evidence. Wait, so there's evidence around. Where is this evidence?
I don't need evidence. I don't need evidence.
Don't need evidence. Okay.
I don't need evidence to know that you're a left.
I think you.
I don't need evidence to know that you're a left-wing ideologist.
Tommy, I think you caused it. Tommy, I actually think you caused it.
And most liberals, that's
you caused it, Tommy. It must have been you. It must have been you. I don't need evidence. Remember, I don't need evidence.
I wasn't there. You were there though, right?
Wait, me being.
Oh, that's odd.
Wait, me being at
UV. That's odd.
That's odd.
That's crazy.
Wait, by the way, there was a video of me debating someone.
Has the FBI seized your phone yet?
No, they didn't come after me because they know I have no affiliation with this. No, the FBI didn't even talk to me, by the way. The FBI didn't even question me.
Maybe they're watching you.
Okay, yeah, they should. By the way, the FBI didn't question. That should give you enough reason because it's a Trump administration FBI. They didn't even come after me because obviously I had nothing to fucking do with it. It's absurd. That's absurd. That is so absurd for you to claim that, especially when I was there and I have trauma from what happened, bro.
You don't have no fucking trauma.
I do not. Yes, I do. I do not advocate for violence. I do not advocate for that at all.
No, so instead, so you're saying that you don't advocate for violence. What do you call
not at all.
The advocation for assassination of one's character?
What? No, I advocate for like
for
democracy.
The assassination of character.
I advocate for peaceful protest. That's what I advocate for. I don't advocate for assassinations. I don't advocate for violence. I don't advocate for any of that. Or like assassination.
Anything other than the opposition to Donald Trump. And in fact, I would argue that your entire career and basis and thesis literally revolves around Donald Trump. If Donald Trump was not here, you would not.
I used to have a platform where I would talk about a bunch of different topics, not just politics. So
yeah, how many followers did you have?
I had hundreds of thousands.
Okay, how many do you have now?
Well, I have over 1 million now.
Oh, because of who?
No, because of me. It's because of me. It's because of me.
Oh, okay. Because of your daddy. Because of your daddy.
Because of me.
I mean,
I'm the reason why I got to the position I am. It's not because of Trump.
Let me ask you this: What do you think about the Venezuelan tanker dispute?
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. I have a few people to thank, and this might piss you off. By the way, Feisty, thank you so much. Oh, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Annalise, thank you so much for the $6. Benjamin, thank you so much for the $5 and for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know it's absolutely absurd. Thank you so much. Give some W's for them in the comment section right now. Some people on YouTube as well. Give some W's for the people on YouTube. And by the way, if you want to support me as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat as always. Let me say thank you to some people on YouTube Super Chat. Mojo, thank you for the £5. Thank you so much on the beer. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. And by the way, there's so much violence on the right. I totally agree, Mojo. Haley, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Quite frankly, don't need any evidence. The blessed one, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Tim, thank you for the $15. I really appreciate it. I know, right? Haley, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Thank you. Feisty with the $50. Thank you so much, Feisty, on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Give some W's for Feisty in the comment section right now. Thank you. Joe, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Seriously, though. In December, thank you so much for the €5. Cornell, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Erica with the 5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. The blessed one, thank you for the $5. Manny, thank you for the 2. Rachel, thank you for the 2. And Def, thank you so much. I really appreciate the £5. And Rhea, thank you so much for the €5. Thank you so much. Can you thank all the gifters?
Yeah, sure. Hey, man, thanks all the gifters for contributing to this guy's ability to sit here on TikTok and spew misinformation so that he doesn't have to get a regular job. I really appreciate that, so that way you can continue to lower the IQ and the centralized intelligence of our entire population so that the right can continue to win in masses. Guys, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's me doing that. Mistress, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Mistress, for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. With some W's for Mistress in the comment section right now. Thank you for supporting the Trump misinformation, by the way. Reverend, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you so much. Corey, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for the $5 for the supporting the Trump supporter deemed misinformation. Not just facts, by the way. Trump supporters considering something misinformation means that there's something factual, and they're just trying to say that it's misinformation to try to say that it doesn't matter. Bear, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shelly, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. I totally get you. William, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Lil, thank you so much. I really appreciate the £10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Henry, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10 for Keep Going Parker. Thank you very much for again supporting the Trump supporter deemed misinformation. Angel, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know, it's actually embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I agree. I totally see you. Go ahead. Keep going, Tommy. Keep crashing out. Can you tell me what a real job is, Tommy?
I mean, anything that fetches income that doesn't derive from misinformation or like falsehoods or like maybe dishonesty, something that's done like above the law, something that continues to thrive, something that can be scaled, something that can be marketed, anything that provides income other than basically sitting on TikTok and spreading misinformation. So
technically Charlie Kirk didn't have a real job, right?
Yeah, I advocate for that as well.
He didn't have a real job?
I don't believe so. I don't believe Tucker Carlson has a real job. I mean, you know.
Yeah, dude, your idol didn't have a real job. That's a new one. That's a new one, by the way. Holy shit. Holy shit. Diamond, by the way, thank you for the 5 membership subscriptions. Thank you so much for supporting the fake job. Squid, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So disgusted with Trump response to Rob Reiner's and his wife's death. MAGA is so evil. Love your channel. Keep going. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It is absolutely disgusting. They sit up here and they virtue signal about the left being violent and then literally support Donald Trump, even though he absolutely calls for violence himself. On the Bearders, thank you so much for the $5 for Trump's never had a real job, Ben. Real. He's just been a con man his whole life. Jessica with the $100 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Jessica. Can we get some W's for Jessica in the comment section right now for keep up the fight, teaching these people how to be on the right side of history. Thank you so much. Can we get some W's for Jessica in the comment section right now for the $100 on Venmo. Holy shit, thank you so much. Can we get some W's? Can you say thank you to Jessica for supporting the Trump-supported deemed misinformation?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jessica, thank you so much for your time tonight, for sitting here and watching this live debate, seeing all of the things that Parker here is spewing and calling for rhetoric in which that would be perceived as calls for violence to our great president, Donald Trump. I appreciate that you continue to come in here every single day and give this guy all of your support and probably all of your rent money. The kids that you have don't...
And what else embarrassing?
No, I was getting there. The kids that you
Tommy,
have don't need
you sound like you're trolling. Like, genuinely. Like, this is so absurd that you sound like you're trolling. You know, there are people in my comment section that genuinely think I pay people like you to come up on my live stream and do this because you're so insane.
That's great. Can I have a cut of the money or what? I mean, I like to make money passively.
You can keep going. I was just trying to say that. Perfect. You're so insane that people literally think I pay you to come up on the live because you're so crazy insane that they can't even believe you're possibly real.
That's great. Well, hey, I'm glad that I'm helping you contribute to your bank account, man, so that you can find real financial freedom.
Well, thank you very much. Sharon, thank you so much for the $20 for Impeach Trump. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Straight to the bank account. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section? Benjamin, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know, right? Seriously, he's online talking. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Benjamin. Charles with the $25. Thank you so much for Tommy as a simp full of hatred and bigotry. Seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Again, W's for sharing in the comment section. Totally. We should impeach Trump. If you agree with impeaching Trump, type 3 in the comment section.
We already tried that a couple times, right?
We should do it again.
Can you name one single president that's ever been removed from office via impeachment?
Technically, it's never fully happened. Like, they resigned themselves. Like, Nixon, for example, resigned himself. But it was for a scandal that was nowhere near even the scandals that an average week under the Trump administration would see.
Yeah, of course. So are we going to get to this Venezuelan thing, or are you just going to continue thinking you're donors?
I mean, you were all jealous and mad because people were sending me money to support the quote-unquote Trump-supporting deemed misinformation. Like, Gina, thank you so much for the $5. Really appreciate it. And Joel, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to
the
thank
left
her as well?
is tearing down the White House and making a ballroom. Definitely. The left is definitely the one taking down the ballroom. Lisa, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for asking him if he thinks historians are in fascism are spreading disinformation. Yes. Like, do you think historians are spreading disinformation?
Many of them, sure. Look at the people that spread the gospel.
Yo, dude, this guy. Haley, thank you for the $2. Thank you.
Or are you saying that the gospel is not misinformation?
The gospel? Oh, wait. Okay, so you're saying I don't think most historians say that the gospel is an accurate depiction of reality in all instances, like every aspect of it.
Oh, great. What about the Quran?
I don't think they say that either.
Well, misinformation, right? But historians widely believe in, right?
I don't think that historians specifically are like overwhelmingly specifically just one religion. And also, again,
did I not offer at least two right there?
No, you didn't. You just said that there are
some Christianity and so the Quran and the Bible is two.
Wait, by the way, are you religious, Tommy?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you're saying the reason why they're spreading misinformation is because they're religious? Then you would necessarily entail that you believe that Trump is spreading misinformation because he's Christian, right?
I mean, I believe that everybody that spreads Christianity is definitely not up to where they need to be in life yet. So maybe one day they'll come to terms. But let's get back to this whole Venezuelan thing. Are you ready for that? Or
I didn't expect that one to be honest.
How do you feel about us seizing the cargo tanker that was full of all kind of Cuban oil? How do you feel about that?
I don't see it to be reflective of like something that we necessarily needed to do. I didn't have any information to indicate that to be the case. What would you say were the goals of this?
Yeah, so the goal would be to execute the order that was initially drafted under the Biden administration to seize that particular tanker because of its connections back in 2022 to the network of Venezuela and Iran. In this particular instance of them giving that oil or selling that oil rather to Cuba is just them trying to avoid the sanctions that was placed on Venezuela, which by our particular law, that's against the law. So they attempted to evade the sanctions by way of selling that particular crude oil to Cuba. We were able to intercept that particular vessel, which already had a warrant for seizure. We then seized said vessel, and then now we're on the up and up. So we're going to probably give Cuba a little bit of it and, put the rest of it into the U.S. economy.
One, I would like to see the evidence that the order was specifically outlined under the Biden-Harris administration. And two, even if there was a plan specifically for it, that doesn't necessarily mean that the plan was going to be executed. There are plenty of plans that have existed historically in which that didn't happen. Alongside the fact that, again, I wouldn't agree with the Biden-Harris administration doing this as well.
Are you familiar with why they had the particular warrant to seize that vessel in the first place?
No, I'm not.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so a whole lot of shit with Iran and Venezuela. Basically, what it roots down to is, again, going around sanctions and assuming that they can just do whatever they want to in the face of the earth. But the biggest justification for here recently, at least seizing the vessel, was because it was drafted into law, or I would say by the Biden administration. So there was an active warrant that we had to seize said vessel, and we took it. So I mean, so you were saying that you don't agree with Joe Biden? Can you say that you condemn Joe Biden right now for those actions?
Yeah, I would disagree with the Democrats doing that. And again, this was just again a plan being set up doesn't necessarily mean that they were going to enact the plan. And also, I asked you for a source. Would you like to provide that?
I mean, for which part of it? Like, you want the
the evidence that the order was given out under the Biden-Harris administration.
Well, I mean, you can Google any part of it.
And that there was
every single source ever will tell you that it comes from the Biden-Harris administration.
No, give me a specific source to say that there was an order and a warrant.
The AP News.
Wait, no,
AP News.
No, give me a title.
Let me pull it up.
Go ahead, I'll give you time.
Perfect.
I'll thank the people supporting the Trump supporter team's misinformation. Via, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $2. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Leah, thank you so much for the $1. Really appreciate it. Seriously, he totally does. Ian, thank you for the $33. Thank you so much. Is this enough threes to remove Trump? Thank you so much. I wish it was. Dennis, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Seriously, I don't understand how he can claim you spew misinformation and then when you provide evidence for everything you say, and then he literally provides no evidence for what he has to say. He literally said that he didn't need evidence. That was embarrassing, dude. If you're on YouTube, by the way, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. Oh my gosh. If you're on TikTok, keep tapping that screen. Let's get to 1 million likes.
I'll tell you what, I'll just click the first one. So this is U.S. tanker near Venezuela. This is the title. U.S. seized tanker near Venezuela just as warrant was set to expire.
Just as warrant expected to expire.
Yep.
All right, and this is from what is it from?
This is from. Let me get back to the top of the page.
Is it Reuters?
The Business Standard.
I'm clicking on Reuters. Just as warrant was set to expire, court document shows the U.S. government carried out a seizure of the MT skipper off the coast of Venezuela on Wednesday just as a judge signed warrant was set to expire. The warrant was issued by Judge Zia Farqui on November 26th. Gave the Trump administration until December 10th to seize the vessel. So this is under Trump's admin, not under the Biden admin.
The original sanction is done in 2022. Keep reading, buddy.
Where does it say that?
I mean, if you would have went to the source that I was telling you about, you would have clearly seen it, but
okay,
I digress.
Here, I'll make sure to go to the one you said. What was it? Business what?
There's a shit ton of them, bro.
Business what?
Why don't you just Google? Did Biden administration order the seizure?
Wait, just tell me what was the source? Like, business what?
Bro, I've already literally clicked off of it. Now I got to go back and fucking click on that same exact one again. Like,
all you have to do is click.
I'm way down the fucking page now.
Hey, dude,
literally like reading a dozen.
Hey, dude. Click on the 3 dots in the top right. Click on history.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do your Google search for you.
No, all you have to do is click on the 3 dots on the top right, and then click on history. Okay, well, give him a second, everyone. He's got to try to find his history.
I mean, I'm doing your Google search for you again.
No, dude, it's your own Google search. I'm just asking you to go to the source you were referencing and just click on history, dude.
I mean, I told you already once.
Are you on incognito, dude? Are you on incognito?
I don't fucking know.
Dude, what? You can't internet, dude? Oh my god, bro. This is embarrassing.
All right, so which one would you rather? BBC News, CBS News?
Wait, now he's giving me different sources. Which source are you referencing?
I'm letting you pick which one you want, bro.
By the way, you said business standard. I was kind of just gonna let you flop like a flopper, to be honest. And you said business standard. And where does it say on business standard? Do you remember? Because I just let me Control F, and we're gonna see if it even says 2022 on the page. Find on
page. It was known as the 2022 in 2022.
Oh wait, you hear that? Did you hear that? That means there was nothing.
It was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department in 2022 for its alleged role in. Okay, I'm on CBS News.
Okay, now we're going on to CBS. Okay.
I mean, I literally asked you which one you wanted. The title is "What We Know About the Skipper, the Oil Tanker Seized by U.S. Near Venezuela." Okay, and if you scroll down.
All right, let's take a look.
You'll see where it says tanker was sanctioned by Treasury 3 years ago.
Yeah, I see.
You'll see it clearly. It's in big bold letters.
So the skipper was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department. I'll read. The skipper was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department in 2022 for its alleged role in the oil smuggling network that helped fund the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps and Hezbollah, a Lebanese militant group backed in Iran. The ship, known as the Odessa in 2022, is among the vessels controlled by Russian oil. Let me see if the Treasury's 2022 sanctions announcement didn't mention Venezuela, but oil networks involving Iran and Venezuela have been reported for years, drawing pushback. Yeah, okay. So I see what you're saying. At least it was it was sanctioned, but that's a sanction. That's not like an order to go take it over.
I mean, I can push you to another like several sources.
Wait, hold up. Do you know the difference between a sanction and like in order to go take over the area? There's a difference between them.
Okay, so again, like I can push you to a plethora of different sources that'll show you that they actually had a seize order throughout most of Biden's presidency. They just never seized the vessel.
Where is this mostly? The CBS article does not.
I mean, I literally just showed you the first one. You're like, show me this. Like, you have the ability to look these things up. Like,
because you're making the
100%. So are you saying that in 2020? What is a sanction?
Your claim.
What is a sanction to seize? Can you please tell me what that is?
There doesn't say a sanction to seize. It just says sanctions. A sanction
what were the sanctions placed?
What were the sanctions placed? Yeah, I'll tell you. So it said that. Let me pull it up. It was on. Let me see. Give me 1 second. It's it's an economic blocker. That's what a sanction is going to be. So let me pull it up for you. Totaling $3.3 million for 2 tankers transporting sanctioned oil. Sanctions implication. So, as a result of today's actions, all property and interests in property of the individuals and entities named above, and of any entities that are owned directly or indirectly, or 50% more by them individually or with other blocked persons that are in the United States or in the possession or control of U.S. persons must be blocked and reported to OFAC unless authorized by a general or specific license issued by OFAC or otherwise exempt. OFAC's regulations generally prohibit all transactions by U.S. persons or within the United States, including transactions transiting from the United States that involve any property or interest in property or designated otherwise or of designated or otherwise blocked persons. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Now, what does that mean exactly? It means that anybody that had any implications to do with that particular vessel via any U.S. correlations was explicitly against the sanctions, correct?
No, that just means that we can't engage in economic transaction with them.
Any U.S. citizen, right? Or anybody tied to the U.S.,
Any
right?
U.S. persons or within the United States, including transactions.
What was the reasoning behind the federal... Now, what was the reason behind the federal government being able to issue the warrant to seize it?
What is the distinction? This is like annexation, like you're taking over the land, whereas otherwise you don't engage in economic trade. What's that?
But why were they able to?
Wait, by the way, can we just make a clear point here? This is not a siege, like a you can seize it order. So you're lying.
No, I'm not. So
you
again,
literally did. By the way, you came up on my live saying I was spreading misinformation.
Listen, shut up for a second and listen. Shut up for a second and listen, okay? The sanctions are the reasons that we were able to seize the vessel, okay? Because the sanctions were broken, the United States
there was no sanction to
seize. Seize the vessel. Yes, there was implications to prove that there...
Where does it say?
Are you an idiot or are you just disingenuous?
Where does it say that you could seize?
Bro, again, I just told you in the warrant to seize that was issued that was almost out.
I'm looking at the hometreasury.gov. I typed seize and it doesn't even say that. On the entire page.
So you have no idea why the issue was warrant to seize.
There was, not under the Biden administration.
No, that's when it was initially sanctioned,
so
right?
Wait, not under the Biden administration. You're misunderstanding.
And then there was a fucking entire investigation that happened, right?
Yeah, so this was sanctioned.
Right.
Where does it say that it was to seize that? Where's the order to seize?
Do you have no ability to type on your computer or what?
Hey, dude, you're making the claim. I'm just asking you to back up your own claim.
Okay,
do you have the ability to research?
Let me read it to you. Tom, the U.S. government went...
Do you have the ability to research before you make claims?
I'm literally reading it from right now. I already have it pulled up.
All right.
The U.S. government went to a federal judge. Bro, listen. This is from The Guardian, okay? The U.S. government went to a federal judge and obtained a seizure warrant because it had reason to believe the tanker was involved in violating U.S. sanctions related to federal laws. That's crazy. Now, it says the vessels have been sanctioned since... Bro, are you serious? Let me finish reading.
Tell me the title so I can look at this particular Guardian article.
Oh, my fucking God, dude.
I'm asking you for a title just so I can look at it.
I have to scroll all the way back up now.
Oh my God! He has to scroll up.
It says because I'm losing where I was in the fucking read, bro. What we know about the oil tanker seized by the U.S. off the Venezuela coast. That is the title.
About the oil tanker seized Guardian. Okay, let's look at the date of this article. By the way, this is from 4 days ago. Okay, let's see where it says. It says that the ship was previously sanctioned by the U.S. in 2022. Let's try to see where it says that the order to take it was from 2022.
No, the order was because they had reason to believe it violated the sanctions of 2022.
Yes. Oh, okay. So then it wasn't, the order wasn't under the Biden-Harris administration. The order was under the Trump administration.
The sanctions on the boat.
So, again, they're violating the sanctions that existed under the Biden administration, but the order to seize the land, right, or the tanker specifically happened under the Trump administration, right?
The warrant.
Yeah.
Not the sanctions. Correct.
Yeah, that's what the warrant would be. the sanction to then seize it.
Right. Now, why was the warrant issued? For violating the fucking, like, already from way back then, like 2022, violating sanctions that happened in 2022.
Tommy, so your argument has changed. Your argument has changed. So that warrant did not exist under the Biden-Harris administration. It was under the Trump administration.
How long do warrants last, sir?
What? That doesn't matter. The warrant was issued under the Trump administration.
The one that it was initially, like, that was done this time that we seized it, right?
This is not from the Biden administration.
You're literally proving my point.
I'm not. How am I proving your point? Dude, I'm sorry. Are you having an issue with tracking the conversation? Because we were clearly talking about the fact that there was absolutely no warrant until the Trump administration.
Here's what I said word for word. I said that particular vessel was previously sanctioned by the fucking Biden administration in 2022 for its known, for its known involvement in Iranian and Venezuelan illicit oil transportation. That's literally like word for word. Do you know how I know it's word for word? Do you know how I know it's word for word? Because I'm reading it again right now.
I understand, but you're misunderstanding what you're reading.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
the sanctions, bro. The sanctions were implemented in 2022. I understand that. The warrant issued to seize the fucking vessel almost ran out.
That was not under the Biden administration, though. That was under the Trump administration.
Are you familiar with the difference between a warrant and a fucking sanction is?
Listen, yes, I do. And that's.
Are you not able to track that I specified?
That's what your misunderstanding
is. And then I specified warrant, right?
Listen, that's what your misunderstanding is. I meant to mute you. So again, the point here that we're saying that's relevant, that you're not taking into account, is that the order to take it did not happen under the Biden-Harris administration. That's what we've been saying since the very beginning, and apparently you can't understand that.
No, I think you're misunderstanding what I said, okay? Again, like, we can run over this a million times, okay? Now, do you believe that the U.S. had the right to seize said tanker?
Do they have the legal right? I would think probably not.
Okay, so then how in the world did the United States execute this and get a federal judge to apply for a warrant? Now, under your own basis of anything to do with
I mean, so that might not conflict with U.S. law, but it could conflict with international law. Is kind of what I was saying.
So you're basically saying that the United States is pirates for taking it.
Well, define pirate.
One that would steal something with the specific intentions of stealing it because of no reason other than their own gain.
Well, I mean, yeah. And also, that's not necessarily what a pirate is. A pirate could steal something for the gain of one of their family members.
Well, that would be for their own gain because it's within their direct family.
Okay, well, I mean, so then, yeah, I mean, that meets your definition.
Okay, so then how is the United States so, like, how is it that like, previously determined that there were sanctions? Are you familiar with why the sanctions were put on that vessel in the first place?
Yeah, we already read that off.
No, not why.
What? Not why? Well, then what are you asking for?
Why were the sanctions implemented in the first place?
Okay, so we already answered this. It was because of who they were involved with, like in terms of Iran and Hezbollah?
Partially. What was the tanker doing? What were they doing with that tanker? What was that tanker known to be doing?
I'm assuming that they got the network was using storage units in the port and blended products to obfuscate the Iranian origin.
So basically, they were using it to transport the oil to terrorists, right? And like various different terrorist regimes. Okay. Whenever we recognized that, we said, okay, well, we're gonna put all these different sanctions on this particular vessel, and then now that vessel has popped up again in another regime, right? That's also been sanctioned by us, and it continues down this path, right? So obviously, the people operating that vessel have no right, or should have no right, to continue to operate that vessel because they continue to deny the law that has been placed upon that vessel. And so, yes, we should absolutely seize the particular oil. But again, this is something that you have absolutely
that's
no
a claim that
knowledge
you're
on.
making. There was no order to seize it. Again, under the Biden-Harris administration.
There was a fucking sanction, and they violated the sanction.
Yeah,
and
the
now there
sanction doesn't
definitely is a
necessitate-
warrant to seize it.
So
What does that have to do with anything?
The sanction
Now,
does
what
not
do you think
necessitate
about
that we have
just
to
cook you on that? What do you think about the
doesn't cook
Syria?
me. Wait, the sanction does not say that we seize it.
The sanction says that they were not allowed to do certain things with it, in which they violated those terms.
That doesn't
They
mean
violated those terms, in which a federal judge gave a warrant to seize the vessel.
Again,
Sir?
that happened under the Trump administration. I'm not claiming
It
that.
doesn't matter. The
I'm not
sanctions were
claiming that it
placed
necessarily
under the
violated
Biden
US
administration.
I'm not claiming it violated U.S. law. I'm claiming it violates international law.
What particular international law does it violate?
Yeah, I can pull up. Yeah. I'm saying it could. By the way, I'm not quite familiar with the entirety of international law. Push the gem gun. I would assume that us just like literally taking land or taking oil tankers without any type of international basis definitely violates international law.
We do it all the time. We blow up their cigar boats for trying to bring illicit substances over here.
So we violate international law all the time? Is that what your review is?
No, we don't. I'm saying that we do the sanction. We are able to implement direct causation for the sanctions that they violate. We're able to go in and implement the things that we said, that we outlined, that we were going to implement if said sanction was violated. This particular case was, if you violate XYZ sanctions, your vessel will be seized. Well, guess what happens? They violated XYZ fucking sanctions and their vessel was seized. Like, stop partaking in illicit crude oil smuggling. Stop taking part in illicit shrug or however you want to say it on here, smuggling. Stop, the list goes on and on. Stop human trafficking. Like, there's a fucking lot of it.
So apparently in the UN Charter, it would be considered an unlawful use in force in violation of said charter.
Oh yeah, and how so?
Yeah. So that's because it would be considered blatant theft and international piracy.
Theft. So did you type if somebody just randomly took a boat, or did you put if they violated said sanctions?
Wait, the sanctions were not necessarily something that was internationally determined. This is from the U.S. standpoint.
So again, what law did it break?
Again, I just told you under the UN Charter.
I mean, I'm going to cross-reference this right now, but 100% no laws were broken. Otherwise, we would be in a fucking crazy situation right now with the entire world, right?
We violated international law in other circumstances. I'm just like, for example, the bombing of the boats off the coast of Venezuela, where again there was no evidence they had DRUGS in the first place. There was a shipwreck boat. That was a violation of international law.
No, it's not. We had clear evidence that they were partaking in the smuggling of illicit substances.
Wait, I'm sorry. It was shipwrecked. The law explicitly says in a shipwreck that you have to rescue them, that you're not to strike again. The second strike is a violation of international law.
Show me where it says that we have to save terrorists.
That would be under the, by the way,
show me where.
Under the Geneva Convention in the context of there being a shipwreck. And also, again,
show me where it says that we have to.
No evidence that they had they were trafficking the DRUGS in the first place. Again, no basis for that. And even if there was, that doesn't justify that treatment because, again, the particular law does not allow for that from an international basis. Again, let me.
Are you familiar with these ships fly the opposite flag? Like, for instance, the vessel, the oil crude vessel itself wasn't even flying the proper flag. Yeah, it does. Actually, that's a huge deal. Anytime that you are in international waters in a vessel, you must fly the correct flag. And I can tell you that because I own a vessel right now sitting in the Port LaBelle Marina, in which I have traveled to the Bahamas and all over the Caribbean, that you have to fly a United States flag, especially whenever you make port.
Yeah, so there are certain contexts in this where it's actually called the United Nations Convention of the Law in the Sea, which is a foundation of maritime law, and like this clearly outlines in the context of shipwreck that you're to rescue them because they have no capacity to be able to even make it to the United States. In this context, they didn't even have enough gas to do so, and they weren't even headed towards the United States, so there was no evidence of that even.
So you're saying there was no evidence of that particular vessel being used previously in the smuggling of illicit substances?
I'm saying even if it did, it's still a violation of international law. One, there wasn't sufficient evidence for that. Two, even if it did,
how can you
it still would
personally,
be a violation of
Parker,
international law, and still they couldn't make it to the United States. Still, they weren't even going to the United States. They didn't have enough gas to get to the United States. Again, their boat was shipwrecked.
How do you know it was shipwrecked if you haven't seen the video?
Because the people who have seen the video have talked about the fact that there was a 40-minute time period where there was a shipwreck, where there was...
Who talked about it?
There was some Democratic member in Congress that has seen the video that talked about the second strike.
What was his name? And then why if that's the case, then why would they not be trying to draft all this? Like, there's been so many witch hunts against Donald Trump that if what you're saying is the case and he indeed did violate the international law, bro, there would be a line 400 miles long at the White House, people demanding to impeach Trump again. Like, it would be all over.
We are demanding this. The issue is that you guys don't give a shit. And by the way, even if I give you evidence, you're still just going to defend it. So you act like, again, there isn't a protest to this. There is. I mean, there's fucking literally over 11,000 people in the live right now telling you that they're fucking against this. And they're telling you that this is batshit crazy and against the law.
There's 11,000 Democrats in here that are listening to you again spew bullshit.
This isn't bullshit. I'm literally telling you factual information. I'm telling you factual information, and you're so ingrained into the Maga cult that you can't even accept it.
No, we've already come to this conclusion. We agreed that there was a sanction in 2022. We agreed that there was a warrant issued in 2024.
This is for something separate. This is for something separate.
Are you done?
The shipwreck is separate from the oil tanker.
Okay, so you're right. Okay, so on the topic of that particular shipwreck, like, I haven't seen the video, you haven't seen the video, you're making implications off of hearsay. Can you tell me one single court in the United States in which hearsay is admissible?
Wait, so then you're saying that the hearsay of the Trump administration...
I'm saying the hearsay is probably bullshit.
Stop cutting me off. Listen, you're saying the hearsay of the Trump administration, that they just claim that they committed these crimes, is not enough evidence, at least in the context of a court system, to determine that they have violated said law, correct?
I'm saying that you can't just come out and say, oh, this person did this, and not have any evidence to back it up. Furthermore, if there was said evidence, then they would be releasing that like tomorrow, bro. It would have been released yesterday. Like, the day it happened.
The court system has to verify that first. The court system has to verify that first. They have to send it. They have to submit this evidence to Congress.
Okay, and did Congress agree that we should just automatically send this particular video out, or do they say, oh, well, maybe this particular video isn't going to be released, or maybe it's not being released yet?
They won't even show the full video. You can't even see it.
They won't even show the full video. So you're, again, talking about something that you don't know
there's an
about.
investigation, right?
So then you would understand that you're speaking on something that you have no final fucking conclusion on, that you cannot possibly draw a conclusion on something that you don't have all of the facts to. Or are you the argument of that you can just draw conclusions based off of partial facts?
I think that I can draw conclusions based upon this when there are clear scenarios of violations of law, and we have enough evidence. We have enough information. We have enough information and evidence to indicate that this is a clear violation of the law based upon the evidence and the information that we've seen. And again, if there's information that indicates otherwise, information that indicates otherwise, I will indicate that. But all the information right now.
Here's one of your crazy hypotheticals for you.
Can I please finish without you cutting me off? So all the evidence.
You already made your point. Like, land it. Land the plane, bud.
I can't because you're cutting me off. Okay, all the information indicates the guilt that there's the guilt of the Trump administration in violating the law.
Perfect. Now, what if that particular video shows a glimpse of said individual pointing a pew-pew at one of the planes, or a member of the United States military, in which would give us the legality to drop said second missile?
Are you looking at like?
Would you then say that they are justified in dropping said second missile?
No, there's no evidence, and people who specifically have seen it.
There's no evidence of otherwise either.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you again, based upon the investigation.
Hearsay, sir, not admissible.
I am telling you in the investigation, based on what they've seen in the investigation, that this indicates a violation of international law. And that's pretty...
You realize that if we were in court, I would, like, right now, I would be like, objection, Your Honor, this is hearsay, it's not admissible. And then the judge would be like, oh, sustained. Fucking bang the little gavel, and everything you just said would be completely wiped away from the record, right?
So let me
hearsay is not admissible. You're basing your factors off of hearsay. of liars at that.
Let me clarify. You are claiming that they deserve to be murdered based upon hearsay.
No, I'm claiming that they deserve to be murdered based off of all of the evidence, the plethora of different evidence that they had backing that they were indeed smugglers of drugs.
Sorry, that's dishonest. You just said that you don't have access to the evidence.
We have access to the evidence in which leads them to the investigation prior to them dropping said missile.
What evidence? What evidence?
So you're saying that the FBI does not have evidence that proves that they were
what evidence do they have? You tell me. What evidence do they have?
So again, you're alluding to the fact that there would be no evidence, right?
Wait, no, I'm asking you. What evidence do they have?
I mean, I told you this all earlier. They have all kind of things. They have things such as video surveillance of them making previous drop-offs in these vessels.
Have you seen this video surveillance?
They even have. Have you seen the full video?
Wait, so that you claim to an
Oh shit! You see how I got you there? Now let me finish my point.
He thinks that he got me there, but what
they also have?
Tommy,
they also have
if you don't be quiet, I'm going to kick you. Stop talking, okay? Right? The claim that you made was that, again, people who are part of the investigation seeing this particular video was just hearsay, therefore it's not admissible evidence. And I'm just saying, if you indicate that under your view, well, then that's not admissible evidence, okay? And we're looking at people who overviewed this, not just claims from the Trump administration.
So what you say does not tie into what I'm saying. What I said is the FBI has, and they've explicitly described some of the evidence that they had for why they made said strikes. The evidence that they have includes, but is not limited to, footage and surveillance via photography and video surveillance of these vessels leaving, right, and arriving, right, and committing the acts of smuggling these said illicit substances. That gives them the probable cause that they know that these are indeed smugglers of these substances. They can now act in the United States' best interest, in which we have the ability as well as the right to unalive them. So that is what we did. Now you have an issue with it. Would you rather that we started dropping missiles on the land traffic or the land trails that they use instead? Because that's where most of it comes from.
So you said that they had footage of them smuggling DRUGS. And again, a claim of footage under your own perspective was not sufficient evidence. And even again, if there was such evidence that you're referencing, that doesn't justify the second strike, as the boat was shipwrecked and there was no capacity to bring said drugs to the country. So
no, because again, you're looking at it like somebody from the Congress and not somebody that's in the FBI.
Dude, I'm done.
You're hearsay.
Tommy,
you're hearsay.
Tommy, stop talking. Keep cutting me off. I'm going to kick you and just go on to the next person. I'm done wasting my time. I'm done trying to talk over you. This is really frustrating and annoying. You've already been on my live stream for over an hour. Stop making me waste my time. Either listen to what I'm saying or get the fuck off my stream.
Continue. Say what you're going to say.
Yeah. Again, even if there was evidence that they were smuggling DRUGS, that's not evidence that they had the capacity to bring it to the country at that particular point. Based upon maritime law, it indicates you're supposed to rescue them if there is a shipwreck. Okay? You can detain them. They have no capacity to bring DRUGS to the country. So even if you had evidence that they actually were bringing DRUGS to the country based upon footage of these vessels doing this, well, I can say based on footage of the scenario because there was a shipwreck, that indicates that they violated international law as well. And you can't tell me that it's hearsay. Otherwise, you would have to indicate your own basis for the evidence that they even had DRUGS in the first place as a reason to strike them is based upon hearsay and inadmissible.
Okay, so your point of like trying to say, oh, well, it's based upon the same factors is completely incorrect, because we have one instance where these particular alleged, as you would say, hearsay is coming from the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency, who are literally actively pursuing them, right? And law enforcement. So now whenever you have an officer of the law who takes the stand and then literally testifies to their knowledge of what they've seen, and then they have that particular evidence, right, that they can bring to the court and show of, hey, look, this is said video, this is said blah, 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 blah. It's not hearsay because it's coming from the person that was actively pursuing the investigation. However, whenever you have a congressman who is watching a video and is in Congress who has no particular role in the investigation of this particular investigation, it becomes hearsay because it is now somebody who is a third party who does not have any involvement or role in the investigation, so that person cannot testify as to what they actively seen or heard. It is then specified as hearsay. Do you not understand that?
Okay, the big issue here that you're not taking into account.
Don't blow past that. Do you understand that? Yes or no?
I am going to address it. I do understand that there is a point to say that you want information directly from people who are a part of this, that say that they have evidence. What you're not understanding is that this evidence is not reason to engage in the second strike. That's not reason. So you're coming up with evidence that you think fits this condition, but it doesn't. Okay?
Again, though, like you're saying that there was a shipwreck. How did this particular boat shipwreck?
How was it shipwrecked? It was capsized.
And how did it get capsized?
By the initial strike.
Okay, so they were toting along there. Strike one comes in, capsizes the vessel, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then
have you ever saw the
40
movie
minutes they were
Zombieland?
trying to get on top of the bottom end of the boat.
Perfect. Now, have you ever seen the movie Zombieland?
No.
Never seen Zombieland. Well, there's a reference in there that plays true in all of anything to do with military occupation. Okay, it's called the double tap, right? Any particular time in which that you are engaged, even in hunting, right, or warfare, and there comes a situation where somebody is injured, right, that is on your opposing force, are you just simply going to allow that person to swim back to shore, or are you going to neutralize the threat? Right? We don't know what the people have. Like you're saying, hey, we need to go down there and save these people. No, we know that they are known shrug smugglers, and they are packing not only shrugs, but also weapons, in which can be used as soon as we get down there. Well, there's no evidence of the contrary either. There's no evidence of the contrary either.
There was no evidence that they had weapons. Again, we could see them on top of the boat. We had drones over this.
Really? Show me the video.
They even waved to them. There was for 40 minutes where they were trying to get on top of this boat, and they kept sledding off.
Can you please show me the video?
And even then, even if they do have weapons, the argument is in that circumstance not to neutralize, it's to literally rescue. And again, it would only be in a necessary that there would be a neutralization. There was no pose of a threat in this context. We're not at war, right? There's no context for this.
Can you show me the video?
I can't show you the video. It hasn't been released, and I can't play that on stream.
Okay, have you personally seen parts of the video where you're saying that they allegedly waved and all of this stuff?
I told you already multiple times, this has not been released. I have not directly seen the video. You haven't directly seen any of these videos either. It is a claim based upon people involved in the investigation.
Okay, so were these ships already wrecked? No, they weren't already wrecked. The U.S. justification.
It was already shipwrecked.
The administration
You're
says
lying.
the strikes were intended to stop.
You're so dishonest, dude.
I said that it was not. I said it was not already capsized. I'm sorry. Did you mishear me, or did I misspeak? Because I'm pretty sure that I said they were not already capsized, but that's fine. I can definitely clarify that for you. So the boat was previously not capsized. The justification was that the strikes were intended to stop the drugs or shrugs from reaching the United States and were part of a broader anti-shrug operation. Officials also claimed that the boats were linked to groups that were designated as narco-terrorist organizations.
Yes, by the Trump administration, designating them as quote-unquote narco-terrorists. Trump also, based on that same designation, pardoned a narco-terrorist. So why do you pardon convicted narco? So by the way, you think it's justified? You think it's justified to pardon convicted?
I believe that political persecutions.
You believe in justifying? You think it's justified to pardon convicted narco terrorists? But if they're alleged narco terrorists, then you think it's okay to murder them?
I think that political persecution is bad, and the Democrats have that like as their specialty of what they do in political persecution is try to chase down everybody that doesn't believe with them and throw them in jail. I mean, again, they obviously pardoned him for a reason. I don't know what the
so just because the Trump administration pardoned them, that means they have to be innocent, right? That's what you just said.
I mean, why else would he pardon them?
Oh, there you go. So because he's a horrible person.
Why did Biden pardon himself?
He's contradicting himself.
Why did Biden pardon himself if he didn't do anything wrong? Why would he pardon his son?
Because his son violated.
Did they do something wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Biden? Why would he pardon himself?
He didn't pardon himself.
Why would he pardon his whole family?
Preemptive pardons because of Trump going after people.
Preemptive pardons. Okay. Now, why would they have to do that if there was no crime committed?
Because Trump said that he was going to go after them.
Okay, and if they had nothing to worry about, if they didn't commit any crimes, then why would you feel the need to put a pardon?
So that
if I didn't commit any crimes, I would say bring it on, big boy.
Yeah, so they didn't have any issues with dealing with the Trump administration.
No, of course not, right? That's what you're going to justify it down to.
All of these are not for sea drug trafficking either, right? So Trump literally pardoned a convicted sea drug trafficker, but you think it's okay to murder those that are just accused of it?
Again, political persecution is bad.
Can you make that make sense? I think you're the one engaging in political persecution by literally murdering them with absolutely no evidence. And the claims from the Trump administration are not good enough evidence. They're hearsay in the context of court, like you just said.
So if I can bring up something that proves that these vessels were linked back and proven to be parts of narco-terrorist organizations, would you concede?
No, because again, that's not reason to then murder them. So although you could, even if there was evidence, listen, even if there, I would concede on the idea that there's evidence that they had DRUGS, but I wouldn't concede to anything else in that, because even if they had DRUGS, that's not reason to murder them. You want to detain them once they get to U.S. waters. Okay, that's the best set of conditions. That's the American way.
How many American lives?
We're not putting any at risk by detaining. We're not putting any at risk by detaining them once they get to U.S. waters. And by the way, most of the drugs that they're bringing to the country is C drug and M drug, mainly which goes to Africa and to Europe. So not even mostly to the United States, but if we're talking about those particular DRUGs, they should bring more MDRUG to the country. I think that's great. It's illegal in many states, including the one I'm in. They should bring more. And if you're talking about the C DRUG, again, Donald Trump pardoned a convicted seed drug trafficker. You just think that it was bullshit because of Trump, the Trump administration claiming it. So we can claim any of these claims about the Trump administration. What they're saying is evidence that they've committed narco-terrorism. We can say that that's just bullshit from the Trump administration. And you don't accept that because you accept anything the Trump administration says.
Well, no, I can accept like actual reality and common sense, right? Common sense says that anytime that any individual, especially these people that are convicted, right? If they were convicted, well, then sure, let's see the evidence, right? Like you're bringing up situations that I have no knowledge of.
The court's already determined it.
And the fact that I had to look up that particular case because I had no knowledge in it, right? And then whenever I look it up, everything that I see in reference to is political persecution. So I mean, of course, like
you read that from the White House partisan government source. You read that from the partisan source.
I mean, so what do you want? Again, I read it from several different places. Like it wasn't just one; it was several different sources, sir. And then also, I would say that again, you're alluding to the fact that it's not acceptable for us to completely cut off these shrugs from entering our country in the first place. And you're alluding to the fact that the lives that are lost, right? Like basically your entire point comes down to the lives that are lost in America because of these DRUGS, right? That are trafficked into this country. You think that their lives being lost is worth less than the traffickers themselves bringing it into the country. Why don't you just admit it?
I think you can prevent the DRUGS coming from the country by detaining them when they get to U.S. waters. You are not limiting DRUGS from being spread into our country any more than that particular policy would be. So actually,
I'd rather spend the 10 grand on the missile.
It's more than
I'd rather spend the 10 grand on the missile than the $200 million it's going to take to fucking house and feed all these people for years and years and years.
So it wouldn't cost $200 million to detain them once they get to U.S. waters. And by the way, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars per missile, if not millions, by the way.
What missile was used?
I'm pretty sure the one that was used was approximately 200,000. Let me make sure.
Well, if you don't know what kind of missile was used, how do you know how much it cost?
Because I've seen reports on the estimated cost. And by the way, you're covering your mic. Let me see. Looks like around, I was right, around 130 to 160,000 per missile. AGM-114 Hellfire missile.
Now, how much does it cost for one inmate to be housed in federal prison for their life?
Not all the people that would be detained by, the National Guard. or the Coast Guard would be would cost or would be in prison for the rest of their life.
Oh, really? So instead, you would return them back to their country?
Yeah, they would get.
Oh, perfect. So you're saying, hey, instead of us just ending the problem, let's send them back so they can do it again.
No, I was going to clarify this, but you didn't let me finish. I think they should be deported on the condition that they're put in a prison in another country.
Yeah, what if the other country says, no, I'm not putting them in prison, they're making us all this money?
Then I think that the American thing to do in this context, by the way, one would be able to hold that country accountable, would be to hold that country accountable for doing that, and then also to then we would keep them in prison. So then, yes.
Oh, perfect. You mean like sanctioning them?
Yeah, like I have no issue with engaging in economic response to those situations, right? Given that they wouldn't be willing to, again, people who are coming from their country, specifically bringing DRUGS to the country, they wouldn't be willing to put them in prison.
Perfect. Now, what do we do when they break the sanctions?
What?
What do we do when, not if, when they break the sanctions?
So if there's a breaking of sanctions, well, then you would engage with the countries that are helping them break the sanctions, and you would put broader sanctions on them. And you can also engage in specific types of policy. This is where I think that tariffs could make sense, right? Like there's going to be a method for negotiation and threats, obviously on behalf of us, to literally cause that to economically impact their country, where they're then going to otherwise decide to address this and put them in prison because the economic losses would be greater if they don't. So that's essentially the condition that I would like to create to incentivize them.
Yeah. So again, like we're gonna put sanctions on them, they're gonna break it
just through diplomacy and negotiation.
Yeah, so if we put sanctions on them and they break it, and then we put more sanctions on them and they continue to break it, right? Like as we've seen historically over all the time, right? That this has been going on. They're going to continue to break these sanctions unless we get somebody, or unless they get somebody in power, rather that doesn't break these sanctions, and then you might be able to go somewhere. As we stand right now, we're not in that in anywhere near that level of play. The position that we currently find ourselves in is they're not only are the cartels and the terrorists over there making money off of it, but also the corrupt governments are making money on it. So they are incentivized to allow this behavior.
But you said whenever the government was involved, like for example in Honduras, that it was political persecution against them. So couldn't I just claim that you're engaging in political persecution towards them?
By putting sanctions on them for trafficking our products into our...
By claiming that they're bringing these type of drugs to our country. And I don't know if you can say that, so I'm just going to kick you at this point, because I don't know if you can say that on the NRC and like you said the whole word. I don't think you can say that on TikTok to us. And anyways, you're already boring me, so we're going to go on to the next individual here quick. I have a few more people to thank. Stephanie, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Give me some W's for Stephanie in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Ali, I really appreciate the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give some W's for Ali. Cal, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I have some people to thank on YouTube as well as Miriam. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Miriam. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Get some W's from Miriam in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really will. Thank you so much. The anxiety pen. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Which woman? Thank you so much. Really appreciate the $10. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section? Jennifer, thank you for the $1. Iris, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it, Iris. Thank you. I have some people to thank on YouTube, but let's get this next person up here real quick, and then we'll go on to the next debate real quick. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. Let's try to get to 1 million likes here on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Let's try to get to at least 2,000 likes. Honestly, we could try to do 3,000 today. I think at least I have like another hour or so left on the stream. I want to say at least another hour. I'll see, because it depends on whenever Dean gets done with his filming. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. And just who I am. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you, or the $10. Thank you. Seriously, he doesn't understand the
impact. Rest in peace, King Von, bro. Rest in peace, King Von, bro.
Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yep. I'm 48.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I'll support neo-libertarian flangelism.
Oh my gosh, that's spreading. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
32.
Do you support Donald Trump?
No, I don't. But I also don't.
I am just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Alrighty, let's go on to this next individual. Again, everybody, only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria. Again, listed here on the TikTok screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
20?
Are you driving?
I'm not. I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
08/12/05.
Okay. And do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump all the way.
Okay. And can the person who's driving say hi real quick?
You're fucking bud.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
45.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
Okay, and if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump, 100%.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Well, can I ask you a question first?
Go ahead.
What do you think about Trump?
I think he's a horrible person. I think he has horrible policy. I think he makes this country a worse place. I think he causes lots of division and disunity. I think that he causes a lot of violent rhetoric and still isn't even engaging in that to this day. Like, for example, he just posted on Twitter that, for example, Rob Reiner had a TDS, and that's the reason why he died, which is obviously absurd. And, like, it's disgusting that he's specifically going to make light of someone's death after literally saying people should lose their job for mocking Charlie Kirk's death.
Okay, now let me ask you something. What do you think? Don't you think you should thank Trump?
What? Say that again?
Don't you think that you should be thanking Trump?
Hell no. Why?
For the platform that he has created for you and the revenue that he generated for you. I
don't think Trump did that. I think I did that myself.
You were nothing without Trump's name on the front of your page.
I was doing okay before Trump.
No, you wasn't.
Trump. Yeah, I was.
Go look at the numbers.
Yeah, so what's your point?
I
will still be here after Trump.
Trump has made you.
No,
you'll be gone. When Trump's gone, you're gone.
It sounds like you're jealous. It sounds like you're jealous because I'll still be here even though Trump isn't like the president. You understand that, right? I'll still be literally making YouTube videos. I'll still be making TikTok videos.
What are you going to have?
Well, there's going to be.
What's going to be on the front of your page?
If you're going to stay around even when I'm debating, Republicans in the future, and it's Trump's not the candidate, type 3 in the comment section. Because I think there's like over 11,000 people in the stream right now. I think a hell of a lot of people are going to stay.
So it's only about Trump. So it's only about Trump, or is it about Republicans?
It's against Republicans. So this is politics.
Oh,
the reason why we're talking about Trump right now is because he's the candidate that's currently in the presidency.
Well, you and I both know that you should be thanking him for building your platform.
Nope, I don't thank him at all. Fuck him. He should be in prison. He should be impeached.
His name's on your platform as we speak.
Yeah, we're talking about why people support him.
Yeah, and you don't have nothing else that you can go into and get viewers.
Yes, I can. I already did, and you can stay jealous. I have a few people to thank real quick. Let me thank some people. Dis, I really appreciate the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give me some W's for Dis in the comment section. Witch Woman, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Tommy, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Give me some W's for Tommy in the comment section. Nicholas, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Give me some W's for Nicholas in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Literally, though, it's so against the American way. It's absolutely disgusting. Thank you so much, though, Nicholas. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Lisa, thank you so much for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for Lisa in the comment section right now. I would if I could at this point. Thank you so much. Faded, thank you so much for the £5. Thank you. Jay, thank you so much for the $2. Angel, thank you for the $2. On the Beard, thank you for the $2 as well. Jay, thank you for the $2. Andy, thank you so much for the $31. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for my contribution to the Parker Misinfo Fund. Rip to Rob and Michelle Reiner. Absolutely, everyone. Absolutely. They said all lost at Brown and at Bondi. And shout out to the hero, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, for saving people. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I saw that video. That was incredible. That was incredible. The person who saved a bunch of people by trying to go after the person who was unaliving those. That was an absolute hero.
Randy,
thank you so much for the $10 for Trump doesn't make Parker money. Tens of thousands of progressives like me make Parker money because there are more of us than there are of you, caller, and the resistance will prevail. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And on the Beardist, thank you for the $2. Thank you.
Trump's on your page every day, bud, on the front page.
And I'm dunking on him every single day.
No,
how does it feel that less people are Trump supporters? How does it feel less people are Trump supporters every single day because of me?
You keep on believing that. Let me ask you this: you're for the Harris, the ex Vice President Harris
over Trump, yeah.
Okay, and you do know that the way she talked about kids 18 to 24 that was going to college, now she's wanting us to be able to vote to 16. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't think she necessarily said 16, but what she was meaning to say in that context is that people our age are naive, and that's why we have certain people specifically in certain things in context and for like college kids to benefit them. And by the way, I just want to let you know, I was definitely naive as a college student. And I think that's important to acknowledge that when we're younger adults, that we have naiveties, and like it's important to acknowledge that so that we can keep younger adults safe.
You and I both know she said that 18 to 24-year-olds were stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't take offense to that as a 23-year-old. Because I'm not a little snowflake.
Well, you just said that y'all was all stupid, basically. So, well,
I didn't. I just said that it means that we're naive, right? And that's true.
That's
like
right.
I think that people my age are naive. Naive is going to be unknowing about certain things relating to, obviously, in this context, personal experience that you gain from being older. So obviously, when you're first going into college and first going into adult life, there's going to be things you're naive to that can be, negatively impactful.
Is one of them, right?
Well, obviously, I think that at that point you have the ability to vote. You should vote, and you should be involved to a greater extent. And I actively want to get people my age involved to a greater extent. And again, I'm not a snowflake and a triggered little snowflake like the right wing, so I can acknowledge what she was saying in that context.
What's the percentage of college kids that voted Democrat?
It would be huge, but like I think that the more educated you become,
because they're naive and stupid, right?
No, actually, the more educated you are, the more likely you are to vote Democrat. So if you want to talk about being naive and stupid, it actually leans you more towards Trump, and you're an example of that. You can unmute yourself, by the way. You got to click the microphone in the bottom right.
Dean, you and I, or not Dean, but Parker, you and I both know when Trump's gone, you are too. Have a good day, bud.
Oh, you're going to run away. You're going to run away. I won't be gone. You're going to see me every single day and on your For You page because, again, you are a fan. You love me so much, and you're going to be there regardless.
As long as you keep putting Trump on the front of your page, you have he is
Trump
your
won't
platform.
Be there for forever.
He is your platform. Who's going to be next?
It will be the next Republican candidate. And I know that you can't acknowledge that I'm going to be here regardless. All you've got is insults and ad-bombs, and I've got fact, statistic, logic, and reason on my side. And you're scared about that, Cletus.
So you're automatically going to go with the Democratic person, right?
No, I just acknowledge, based on reason, facts, evidence, and logic, that the Democrats are better than the Republicans.
At no place in reality is that true. You need to be more like Charlie Kirk. But you have a good day.
No, I'm not going to be more like Charlie Kirk. Why would I want to do that? Oh, you going to run away? Oh, he's going to run away. By the way, you support a candidate that straight up calls for the execution of his political opponents. If Democrats were to do the same thing with option, well, Trump does that. Apparently, it's something that you're able to look past. Because it doesn't really seem like you care about political violence. Let's go on to the next individual, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Brandon, thank you so much for the $20. I know today's been pretty wild. Thank you so much, Brandon. Christina, thank you so much for the $25. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've been watching your streams every day for over 2 years, and before you even started talking about politics, keep standing on business. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Nick, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, I totally get that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give some W's for Nick in the comment section right now. They said, I've been able to flip most of my buddies. Your lives do change minds. Thank you so much, Nick. That's amazing to hear. That's amazing to hear. And as someone who grew up in Iowa, that's exactly what I'd love to fucking inspire. Thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And Brandon, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. Yeah, it is actually embarrassing how bad he misunderstood sanctions. Yeah, that was really bad. By the way, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get out to more people. For the 7,700 people here on TikTok, make sure to hit that, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. I appreciate it as always. Make sure to follow me if you haven't already. It's the best way to ensure that you see my content every day. Let's go on to the next individual here real quick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20.
Oh, there was a bit of an echo. I apologize. Make sure to send a guest request right back once the echo is gone.
It said join.
Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo.
Do you support Donald Trump?
47.
And do you support Donald Trump?
I mean, I support some of the stuff he does, sure.
Like, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Well, I definitely wouldn't vote for Kamala.
Would you vote for Donald Trump?
She could barely even talk. What?
Would you vote for Donald Trump?
Sure. I'm going to vote for him in 2028.
Okay, well, that's not going to be possible constitutionally. Fish Taco, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The Constitution.
Do you think that Donald Trump is a better speaker than Kamala Harris? Because I think that's laughable. Donald Trump said that we should nuke hurricanes to fight them. He said we should look into disinfectant by injection to fight COVID-19. He said the windmills were causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. And he said the climate's going to start cooling and science just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, but she couldn't complete a sentence.
She did, all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean, you pull some of her stuff up. Pull some of her word salad up.
Yeah, I'll bring it up right now, and I'll prove you wrong.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
Do you want to bet?
Pull some stuff up.
I can pull it up right now, and I bet she finishes the sentence.
Oh, what? You're going to pull one sentence?
Yeah, I'll go to a random part of the debate.
Here, let me look up something. How about that?
You want to look it up?
How about I look up something and you can play it?
How about this?
Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
Because of my business.
So
because of my business, I'm way better off.
I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually planned to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump.
That sounded totally coherent. That sounded like a complete sentence. That sounded like she made a whole lot more sense than anything that Trump could possibly have brought up in these circumstances. And the fact that you point to what she had to say and said that she couldn't finish a sentence is embarrassing after I just played one random part of the conversation, the debate, and she was spot on. She was right about everything, and you should have listened to her.
Listen to mine.
Yeah, I did that.
Let's listen to Kamala make sense. Can we do that?
Did you just play a clip of her laughing? Is that it?
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
yeah. Can I explain that to you? Let me explain that to you because you're not smart enough to understand. She's saying that there are things that come prior to you. You're not just randomly put into society with the same level of opportunities as everyone else. Okay? You exist in the context in which came before you, meaning, right, your ancestry, right, your generations that came before you, the housing, the opportunities they had access to impacts the opportunities that you have as a person, right, and the ability for you to engage in social mobility. So if you think that's proof of her not being able to, one, finish sentences, and two, not making sense, that's absurd because one, she made sense, two, she finished sentences in that circumstance, and it was embarrassing that you tried to bring that up as an own, whereas we can play clips of Donald Trump saying that we should look into disinfectant by injection to fight COVID-19, that windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before, that the climate's going to start cooling, science just doesn't know it yet, that we should nuke hurricanes in order to fight them, which would just make them radioactive. Do you understand? I can give you countless examples of Donald Trump saying wildly insane, absurd bullshit, and Kamala Harris totally made sense in that scenario.
I never said that Trump doesn't say ridiculous things. I was just saying Kamala really couldn't complete coherent sentences.
She did. You just didn't understand it. You can't comprehend coherent sentences.
I was alive watching it.
I was too, and you just couldn't comprehend it. I just explained it to you.
Are you going to admit that she wasn't known for her word salad, at least on the Republican side?
It's just that you are not smart enough to comprehend what she was saying.
No, I'm saying, can you admit that she may have been, referred to as like something with word salad because...
Yeah, people kept claiming that, but it was obviously absurd for people to claim that because, again, she made total sense. The idea that you're bringing up that she didn't make sense is actually on behalf of a comprehension issue on your behalf.
I want all your viewers and listeners to go on YouTube and play Kamala Harris word salad. Listen to it.
You keep repeating that same thing over and over again. It's embarrassing that you do that because, again, she made complete sense. You just had a comprehension issue.
Dude, just look at the videos. Watch the videos.
I did. We just played two, and she made total sense.
Oh yeah,
play your worst video. Play your worst. Try your hardest.
She made sense in two videos. Okay.
Yeah, you played the video. Play any video that you could that at least even compares to one of the videos that I just talked about in relation to Donald Trump. You can't find one
all day long of how horrible she was.
Go ahead, try.
A candidate that was put in. She was put in.
So I'm confused. What she was the vice president. She stepped up when the president stepped down.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like, if they ran somebody else, you wouldn't have a show right now because she's the reason Trump won.
Wait, if a Democrat ran and won, we'd live in a better country, and I still would have a show. You would, right? We would have a better country.
Well, that may be true. That might be true.
It is true. We would have a better country.
If they ran somebody different.
I said if we won, because Kamala Harris was someone who was better. You just didn't literally engage in research. It was your problem because you didn't comprehend what she was saying because you didn't care to do the research. You didn't care to look into it. You just assumed what she was saying was bullshit because you were too stupid.
It wasn't me. the things she said, the things she did. She was implanted. If it wasn't for her getting implanted, she would, you guys would be better off.
No, you understand that she was the vice president. She had 80% of the Democratic Party satisfied.
Yeah,
with being, 80% of the Democratic Party was satisfied with her being the nominee.
Probably would have had better luck with Hillary Clinton again.
No, we wouldn't. That's absurd.
She was just a bad candidate.
No, she wasn't. Name one way.
And she was vice president because
name
Joe
one
Biden
policy.
said
Wait, listen.
he needed a black woman.
Hey, listen.
She's
by the way,
a DEI hire.
He said a woman, right? And specifically, that doesn't necessarily mean that that they're unqualified. You'd have to be claiming that every woman is unqualified in order to claim that because he wanted to pick a woman as his vice president, that means that they're unqualified. You say DEI hire. You know who the actual DEI hire is? Well, it's actually Donald Trump, because the Electoral College, the reason why he got into the position of presidency in 2016, because he won the Electoral College vote and not the popular vote, is because of the fact that each state gets a certain amount of electoral votes just based upon them being a state, not based upon their population size. So if you want to talk about DEI, Donald Trump is the original DEI candidate, or that literally got into his first position of Oval Office because of the fact that there was DEI within our federal government electoral processes. She's way more qualified than Donald Trump. You can't acknowledge
Donald Trump. You crying about Donald Trump isn't going to hurt me.
I'm not crying about Donald Trump. I'm giving you facts, reason, and information indicating that Donald Trump is a horrible person with bad policy.
Because she had a black vagina.
Again, no, he specifically said a woman. And also, it's disgusting for you to say that. That's fucking really weird. Why would you say that? Alongside the idea that even if it was because of the fact that she's a black woman, she's not the only black woman. Why didn't he pick any other black woman than her? You're assuming that every black woman is unqualified. And again, he said woman. He didn't even say specifically black woman. He said a woman. So you want to unmute your mic and address that, you fucking weirdo? He can't unmute it. 2 seconds. He's got to wait.
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps muting, and then
you must be doing that to yourself.
I don't know. I'm not touching my phone. I think it's you. I think it's you muting me every time.
No, that must be yourself then.
Yeah, I'm sure. Show me your computer screen.
No.
Delete that little mute button.
Delete the mute button? I can't delete the mute button.
Delete that little button when I'm trying to prove a point and you need to mute me.
Dude, you're doing that to yourself, man.
So tell me something great about Kamala Harris besides her black vagina.
Kamala. And again, you keep just literally saying this. You sound like a racist, bigoted piece of shit. Honestly, it sounds like you're literally just trying to get the Infinity Stones of bigotry, because you're literally just trying to say that she's bad for being a black woman, and you're trying to literally bring that up as like some sort of issue. It's fucking disgusting, dude. You're a nasty weirdo. Kamala Harris is a very qualified candidate. She had the most tie-breaking votes of any vice president ever in U.S. history, including the Inflation Reduction Act, which has the largest investment in renewable energy ever, the $35 cap on insulin for those that are on Medicare, right? Literally all of these different policies to actually help out working class Americans, like the deduction for small businesses that are just starting out, and the $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes. Do you have anything other to say than fucking bigoted shit?
It's not bigoted.
It is.
It's not bigoted at all. It's just in different. It's in like harsher words. Okay, fine. Joe Biden, picked a beautiful black woman. Okay, same thing. It's just different, lingo.
Yeah, but again, he specifically said that he was going to pick a woman. He didn't specify that she was going to be black.
He wishes he picked somebody else.
Not true.
Tampon Tim didn't help either.
Why do you call Tim Walz Tampon Tim?
Why do you think I call him Tampon Tim? Say why I call him Tampon Tim. Why?
I want you to tell me. I have a pretty good idea of why you say that.
I want you to tell me. I want you to have enough sense to admit why people call him Tampon Tim.
No, I know why. I'm just asking you to tell me because I want to know why you say this.
Because didn't he put tampons in boys' bathrooms and he got the nickname Tampon Tim? I know he did.
So here's another. So I know you have a hard time with comprehension.
Put them in there.
Hey, listen here.
I know he didn't physically.
I know you have a hard time with comprehension, but it was just in areas where people would have access to it if they're menstruating. Mm-hmm. It did not specify boys' restrooms.
That's why I called him Tampon Tim. So
it doesn't specify boys' restrooms. It just says people who are menstruating will have access to menstrual products. So it never specified boys' restrooms. That was up to the districts for them to determine that they wanted to do that. And by the way, it would make sense in that context. Like, for example, I have sisters. I could have gotten my sisters tampons when they needed it, given that they could have just asked me rather than being able to have to go themselves to go get it, right? It would make sense, obviously, in some conditions. Plus, there are plenty of different situations where, again, they utilize both the boys and the girls' restrooms, specifically in the context of sports games, right, as locker rooms, right? Because in this context, they don't have another bathroom. So again, for sporting events, there would be tampons in those bathrooms where, again, the girls would have access to them, right? Because again, they would be utilizing that bathroom. So you're misunderstanding how it's used. And also, you don't want people who are menstruating to have access to menstrual products?
I know you wouldn't have to go into a boy's bathroom to get a tampon from your sister. You would just get it out of your purse. Now, other than that,
no, if they didn't have it in their purse, genius. Unmute yourself. You have to click the microphone in the bottom right. Okay, he won't be able to figure that one out. Doug, thank you for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Harris was literally next in line for succession when Biden stepped down. Literally, MAGA can't admit this, admit to just being racist, even though that's what it was about. Literally, they couldn't handle a black woman as the candidate. Absolutely. Seriously, though. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that he literally sits up there and he tries to act like that's some sort of mechanism to demean her status of being qualified. It's embarrassing that he thinks that he can do that. Brandon, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Mike, thank you so much for the $2. I'm the Beard. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. Literally, though. Tommy, thank you so much for the $10. Fish Taco again with the $20. Avery, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. And Shelly, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. He can't figure out how to unmute his microphone. Jessica with the $15. Thank you so much. Karina with the $1. Emma, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Jordan, thank you for the $10. And Amanda, thank you so much for the $1. Thank you. They said an American citizen was detained by ICE for 4 days, and they didn't believe his ID is real and demanded a birth certificate. Who the fuck carries that? The world is fucked up. Absolutely. Literally, there was someone that they were holding who missed their kid's birthday party because they were trying to go to work. They were a veteran, and they were detained for over 3 days without a power of attorney, without medical help, when they literally were feeling their skin burn.
Did they forget their tampons?
You're embarrassing, dude. You have children. You have children. Dude, you are such a childish person. You are a man child.
So you were talking about.
You're a man child. What is an issue with tampons? Why do tampons make you so triggered?
No, I was just saying, you said you would reach into your purse and gave your sister one of your tampons. I understand that, but, that's fine. Then you don't have to go into the boys' bathroom to get them. It's weird.
Again, that was not in all boys' bathrooms. It was specific to the district to pick that. It was just that
I said,
the order.
Carry a few
listen. But I'll have to mute you if you don't listen. The order was just that people who are menstruating. Listen, the order is that.
Dude, I don't even care about why you asked me why.
Listen, I'm trying to explain
to you. I call
him
Tampon Tim. And
I know. I'm trying to explain, and I'm trying to explain to you.
The tampon
you're not listening.
thing. Okay,
you're not listening. You are not listening.
It's great. Tampons. We need tampons. Okay.
Yes, for people who are menstruating, need them.
Yes. I keep tampons too,
Yeah, you're triggered because of tampons.
Yes, I'm triggered because of tampons because you keep talking about tampons.
You brought it up.
Yes. What's that?
You brought it up.
No, I didn't. I said Tampon Tim.
Yeah, that's bringing it up, genius. That is bringing it up, genius.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
So, no, I'm going to keep addressing this because you didn't listen. So, again, the order was to ensure that people who are menstruating have access to menstrual products. It is not saying that it had to be in boys' bathrooms.
No. Okay, cool.
So, you're misunderstanding.
No, that's fine. Like, you told me...
Hey, can I scare you real quick?
I told you.
Hey, can I scare you real quick? Tampons! Sure. Ooh, tampons! Ooh, oh my God! Tampons in the boys' bathroom! Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God! Oh, it's so scary. Tampons. Oh, the horror. Oh my God, a tampon. No.
So do you think Kamala was drunk a lot?
Kamala, no.
Because of how
you
she
must be.
slurred
You must be.
stuff?
How many drinks have you had today, sir?
I don't drink.
That's surprising, genuinely.
I don't drink.
It's surprising.
But
That's
I will
very
smoke
surprising.
a dab, though. I will smoke a dab, though.
Okay, well, I have to kick you because you said that. It's TikTok TOS. But you must be off of 100 million of them because Jesus Christ, you're insane. Mojo, thank you for the £5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Dwayne, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Seriously, though. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. What a weirdo, dude. He's literally triggered at tampons, dude. Tampons trigger the MAGA. Andy, thank you so much for the $8. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's crazy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Candy, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Of course, I really appreciate it, Candy. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. W chat. We love it. We love it. We love it. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for the 4,000 people here. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. It should help get it out to more people. Let's get the next person up here real quick. Alrighty. Let's get this next individual up here. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get this next individual. Alrighty. Scarfy, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible that he was making fun of his death. And his wife's death. So disgusting. So horrible. I just can't even believe that where we are as a society. It's honestly horrible. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, so why do you support Trump?
I don't know. I just think he has more like common sense, kind of.
Okay, what makes you think he has more common sense?
Like, just for example, like getting rid of illegal immigrants.
Okay,
like,
why is that common sense?
If you're illegal, you shouldn't be here.
Why?
Because it's illegal.
Okay, so everyone who commits a crime should be held accountable for committing said crime?
Wait, what?
Everyone who commits a crime should be held accountable for committing said crime.
Yes.
Okay, so Donald Trump wasn't held accountable for committing 34 felonies and sentenced to prison because you guys voted for him. So you shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump because it literally limited him from being held accountable.
Was it, what crime?
34 felonies of falsifying business records in the first degree, which is a Class C felony in the state of New York because of a predicate crime.
Did he serve time or?
No, he didn't serve time. He was convicted and sentenced, but the reason why he didn't serve time is because he was elected president of the United States by you.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I still think, like, illegal immigrants, like, if they're here illegally, you know, they should go back, right?
Are you okay with Donald Trump violating the law and their constitutionally protected rights while deporting them to a greater extent?
I guess so.
Okay, so then you're okay with Donald Trump violating the law, not only in his personal life committing crimes, but also violating the law and deporting people, but you're not okay with an undocumented immigrant violating the law to come here for a better life and for their families?
But they shouldn't be here if they're illegal. Like, if all the paperwork's done and it's legal, yeah, that's perfectly fine, but to me, it just doesn't make sense if they're here illegally that they should stay here. Okay.
So provide them a legal pathway. Provide them a pathway to citizenship.
Well, there is a pathway.
No, there's not a pathway that makes sense. It takes too long, it costs too much, and Trump has used those exact same reasons to say that he doesn't need to uphold due process rights in deporting people because he said it would be too costly to go through the court system and it would take too long to go through the court system. That quite literally is evidence right there that he thinks it's justified to violate immigration law in order to be able to ensure that it doesn't cost so much and it doesn't take too long. Well, that's the exact reasons that would then justify an undocumented immigrant coming to our country because it costs too much and takes too long to go through said legal process.
Well, I don't know. It should take a long time. Like, you can't just be letting anybody in the country.
Yeah, if someone was held civilly liable of forcibly penetrating a woman's vagina against her will, would you let them legally enter the country?
Wait, what?
Yeah, if someone was held civilly liable for forcibly penetrating a woman's vagina against her will, would you let them legally enter the country if every single other aspect of their immigration was verified for them to come into the country?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
That's not a tough one. I would say no.
Well, probably not, no.
Okay, so if we both agree that no, they should not. If we both agree that
like their prime or something, then it's all done with, then whatever. Like, they did their time and all that. But yeah, like, I don't know.
If we both agree that they should not be allowed into our country, and by the way, I don't even think even after time they should be allowed into our country, but you have a bit of feedback, by the way, is there a way you can turn down your volume? Even if, that would be the case, we still don't think that they should be allowed in the country. So if we agree on that, well then obviously if they shouldn't be allowed to legally immigrate to our country, they shouldn't be allowed to become president of the United States, because there should be more qualifications on becoming president of the United States than becoming a legal citizen through the context of immigration. So if you're going to say that that's something that would be a reason to not let someone into the country because they aren't qualified to be a citizen, well, then wouldn't that necessitate that they aren't qualified to be president because the presidency relies on more qualifications than just becoming a citizen?
I don't know.
To me, it sounds like you have a lot of double standards. Things that you don't apply to Trump, but you do apply to undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. So, what's the reason why you support Trump then? Because it sounds like he's violating the law repeatedly, so it can't just be the law as a reason as to why you'd want to support him, because he's clearly violating it as a convicted criminal himself.
And, he, another common sense thing, he says there's only two genders, which is very true.
Has nothing to do with national policy. Plus, the idea of gender in this context is, by the way, you have so much feedback, man. Is there a way you can turn that off? It's hard to even think when I can hear myself.
I don't think so.
Do you have Bluetooth on?
No.
No? Then I don't know why I would hear it.
Okay, but we can both agree there's only two genders.
Okay, so the idea of gender. Okay, I can just hear myself. Hey, Cole, come up a different day. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I can't do this. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everybody. How many likes are we at on YouTube? I think right now we're currently at, 1,600 likes. Let's try to get to 2,000 here real quick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, hello, how you doing?
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, overall.
Okay. And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I probably still would have voted for Trump. I just didn't think Kamala had a good immigration policy.
Okay.
She copied Donald Trump's policy.
No, she definitely didn't copy Donald Trump's immigration policy. So what immigration policy of Kamala Harris's do you disagree with?
If you would go back and watch a CNN video with Anderson Cooper, he pretty much told her that she was quoting the Donald Trump policy that he made. And she said at the end of it, doesn't matter who made it as long as it's a good policy.
So there's going to be some policy that she agrees with him on, and I'm probably guessing it's the no tax on tips policy. That was also supported by Bernie prior.
We're talking about immigration, not tax on tips.
What immigration policy?
I was saying when she was running for office, Anderson Cooper interviewed her. She basically quoted the same policy that Donald Trump was wanting to enforce when it comes to immigration.
That's just not
Anderson
true.
Cooper. Yes, it is true. It's a video out there that showed it.
I think maybe you could talk about there were parts of the bipartisan border bill that were concessions to Republicans. That's called compromise in a bill. Okay, that's not her specifically naming off every single one of the Republican policies and saying that she supports that. That's just a bill that they rely on to get it passed, has to have some level of compromise on it.
either way it goes, it was wish death on anybody. That's just my opinion, but
yeah, and it wouldn't be reasonable for people to support me if I did that. And if it wouldn't be reasonable for people to support me if I did that, well, then it's not reasonable to support Donald Trump when he called for the execution of some Democrats because they said to not follow unlawful orders. So you have to be able to realize the person causing the most amount of political violence is Donald Trump. When he explicitly makes fun of people dying, when he explicitly calls for people to be executed who are on the political opposing side of him, it is embarrassing that people cannot identify this and then still try to portray the left as the one who is violent.
Okay, but so when Charlie Kirk died, why was the left praising Charlie Kirk died then?
You can't name a single Democratic person that ran for president that said that was justified.
It doesn't. I'm not talking about president or candidates. I'm talking about people on the left
in comment sections. So you're holding people in comment sections to a higher standard than you are holding the president of the United States.
I could care less about the president of the United States, man.
Why are you going to lie talking about him then?
About the president of the United States.
Then why are you going to lie talking about him and supporting him?
You're the one that's talking about him. You're asking if you
joined my live to talk about it. Hey, you're talking with me about it right now.
I'm talking about other things now. We're talking about the death of other people. You're acting like Trump was the one saying everybody has to die. No, dude.
He said H-A-N-G, then George Washington would.
Okay, well,
you're about it right now.
I'm talking about other things now. We're saying, okay, well, if he did, he did. But simple fact, the match death.
Wait, like saying H-A-N-G then? Can you name one content creator on the Democratic side that even said that?
I can't keep up with everybody on TikTok, man. I
don't even know if any single content creator even said that.
There's videos out there. I'm sure if you looked up videos from TikTok, people who praise Charlie Kirk's death talk about how.
Wait, by the way, I just want to clarify. There is even a distinction between celebrating and calling for the execution. Those things are different. I don't agree with celebration, but I definitely can acknowledge the distinction between celebration and calling for the death.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. There wasn't people out there calling for the death of Charlie Kirk. There were people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And Donald Trump explicitly called for the death of some Democrats.
Well,
he's celebrating deaths of Democratic individuals too. He just did today.
Okay. Anyways, like I said, dude. I mean, you proved your points. That's. I think I sort of proved mine overall. I think we kind of agreed to disagree on most of it, but anyways, it was nice talking to you. I wish you the best. Like I said, I have no ill will towards, whatever. Just, it was good to talk to you. Have a good day. Okay.
All right. Appreciate you coming on. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. Listen to the TikTok screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everyone. We have maximum 50 more minutes left on the live stream, everyone. Maximum 50 more minutes. I would really appreciate if you hit that thumbs up, everyone. On YouTube, if you're on here, it'll help get it out to more people. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Here in about 50 minutes, I'm going to go see Dean. Yo, what's up? How old are you? To go on the next individual, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List in the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yo, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 20. I'm 27.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump, for sure.
Okay, why do you support Donald Trump?
First off, he's laxing red flag laws, which I think are super. It's a good way to prove that he's not a dog. You know who I'm trying to refer to? AH, the German Reich.
I think that's one. We're not necessarily even making a comparison to him. JD Vance did that. Secondly, Trump has called for red flag laws. So I don't know what you're talking about.
He backtracked on that. He's now going against red flag laws.
Okay, so where did you get this? I would love to see.
I can find the link for you if you really want. Another thing I wanted to debate about was what y'all were talking about with Donald Trump talking about HANG people.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I don't see the relaxing red flag laws.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, I literally see nothing that says that at all. If anything, it says there's literally nothing, not a single action to relax red flag laws.
He has shifted his position on red flag laws. Initial support was in 2018, 2019 during the Parkland shooting, but he backtracked it during this election. In 2022, he criticized Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which was passed under Biden.
Yeah, this is just federal funding to encourage red flag laws within it. As a gun grab, like opposed to its passage. So, like, this doesn't mean he doesn't agree with them. He still agrees with red flag laws.
But he's pulling back, which he's also not enacting new red flag laws, which that is something that
I think red flag laws are good, by the way.
I don't. I think that's exactly how the Jews got their guns taken away.
Can I ask you this question? Why do you think it's comparative to what to Schittler? To advocate for red flag laws.
Schittler advocated for red flag laws. He took Jews' guns away right before he deported them, right before he slaughtered them.
So deporting. So, okay, Trump deports. Is that comparative to AH? Because
Trump doesn't deport a specific religion or ethnicity. He deports illegals. There's a big difference.
Didn't he call for a complete and total shutdown of Muslims entering the country?
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, a shutdown of somebody entering, a shutdown of someone entering the country who has a hostile belief. They have a hostile belief. Go look at Michigan right now. Go look at Michigan.
Okay.
Look at the billions taken from Michigan taxpayers.
Why are you generalizing Muslims because of that?
I'm not generalizing Muslims. I'm saying
you are. You said it was justified for Trump to call for a complete and total shutdown of all Muslims
until we get our stuff together in this country. It should be shut down. All immigration should be shut down.
No, that's ridiculous. He said specifically Muslims, it's not. And no, not all immigration should be shut down. And again, this idea that you bring up something specifically in terms of Wisconsin. By the way, I think that you were referencing Minnesota. By the way, not even Wisconsin.
No, it's Michigan.
Or Michigan, sorry, Michigan. You were referencing it's Minnesota, not Michigan, right?
No, you're talking about Dearborn, aren't you?
No, that would be what I think you're trying to reference.
No.
What I'm referencing Minnesota because people are claiming this about people who are Somali.
I don't think smelly has anything to do with it, but Michigan's Muslim population. Michigan's Muslim population as of late 2025 is estimated to be about 250,000.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? You don't see an issue with importing people by the masses in this country. There's a
I have no issue with 250,000 Muslims living in Michigan.
And one area that's what politicians are going to go for.
Dude,
they're just
what
is
wrong with that? Tell me what's wrong.
If you take away what this country was founded on, why was the country so much better off?
Take away what the country was founded on religious freedom, right?
Religious freedom, but to assimilate at the same time.
So then what's wrong with Muslims living in the country if this country's about religious freedom?
Have you seen the street signs in Michigan where it's a Muslim population majority? It's not in English. You don't think that's a problem?
Cry about it. No.
Cry about it?
Yeah.
You don't see how that's a problem?
No,
you don't see how that's a problem.
You can cry about it. Genuinely.
Okay, let's go back.
By the way, I drive in LA and I see and if I see a sign in a different language, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it because I'm not a whiny snowflake like you. Okay, I can live around other people that speak different languages. That's not a hard thing to do.
I can cut you off easily too. I mean, it's not that hard.
Try if you're muted. I can mute you. Try to cut me off right now. Go for it. What? I can't hear you. That's what I thought, buddy. Unmute yourself.
I mean, acting childish is not going to get a debate.
You are the one complaining about people speaking different languages.
You just muted me, bro.
Yeah.
In America, we speak English. What's the problem with
in America, we speak plenty of different languages. In America, people speak Spanish. Did you know that? There's a lot of people that speak Spanish in America.
Because
Did you know there are people who speak German in America? Did you know that people who speak French in America? Did you know that people speak a bunch of different languages in America?
I'm not saying that's wrong, but we shouldn't be making our road signs based off of another language.
It depends on the area.
You don't see how that's an issue.
No, no problem at all. I have no problem with literally street signs in certain areas dependent upon that population, specifically having different languages on the street signs. You can sit here and you can complain all you fucking want about it, but you have literally no fucking basis at all to complain about it. That's
okay,
dependent
let's
upon
back
the
up
people who live in that area. You don't even live in that area. Stop complaining.
I have one question, Parker.
Let's back it up then, because you're talking about people.
I want to answer a question. Can we deport the German white people who came to this country and now speak German in this country? Because in Pennsylvania, a large majority speak German. So can we deport those white people?
He left, by the way. He left.
Why did he leave?
Because he was
That's a
scared of
question
them.
I want answered, because there's a lot of white people here speak French, they speak German, they speak, all those type of things. Why not deport them?
Yeah, get them out of the country. They're speaking a different language. They're making the signs in different languages. I saw a sign in French the other day. How dare they do that in this country? This country should only be English.
Where I'm from, Parker, where I grew up, they spoke German, and no one cared. No one gave a shit.
Literally no one gives a shit. It's embarrassing, genuinely embarrassing. I don't understand what their whole issue is with that. If you want to know what it says, learn the language. If you don't care to know what it says, what the fuck is the problem? Genuinely. It does not harm you at all for people to speak different languages. How embarrassing.
Agreed.
Jesus. Alrighty, everyone. Let's go on to the next individual. By the way, everyone, we have less than 45 minutes on the live, and then I've got to leave everybody. Alrighty. Let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List in the TikTok screen of a few people to thank real quick. Andy, thank you for the $80 Australian dollars. Thank you so much, Andy. Can we get some W's for Andy in the comment section right now? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't see how you are held to a higher standard than the president of the goddamn United States. Seriously, what? Honestly, I think Trump would have deported people specifically. Yeah, he definitely would. He's a hero, and he would have deported him. It's embarrassing. Thank you so much, Andy. Can we get some W's for Andy in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Paul, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm a Christian Michigander, and our Muslim and Arab population is amazing. Dearborn, Michigan, we have a large immigrant community. So based. Immigration is such an important aspect of our culture and our society. I love immigration. I think it's amazing. Maddie, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20 for I live in Louisiana. We have tons of French-speaking Americans. And signs in French all over. Seriously, no problem with that, by the way. Deja, thank you so much for the $7.77. Thank you. Seriously. Spoof, thank you so much for the $3. Jeffrey, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. Dalen, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. POT, thank you so much for the $6.68. Seriously, though, thank you. Carlo with the $6.68 as well. Thank you so much. Can we get some W's for all those gifters in the comment section right now? Thank you. Let me make sure I'm caught up on YouTube real quick. Again, if you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's try to get to 2 million likes now. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes. I think we can do it. I think we can do it before the end. We're at 1945 right now. I think we can try to get 1,000 before we leave. I think we can do it to get to 3,000. That'd be amazing, everyone. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Ellen, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Thank you so much. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It's absolutely free to do so. El Valentine, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. They said the Bondi hero bystander is a Muslim. Absolutely. Literally. And Trump would have advocated that they shouldn't have been allowed to immigrate to our country. Literally insane. So here, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5 and for the $1 as well. ZMC, thank you so much for the $4. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think I'm fully caught up. Be safe again. Thank you for the $2. I really appreciate it. And Brandon, thank you for the $5. Alrighty. Brookhaven, haven't you been on my stream before?
It's been on you. Yeah, but you docked me. You didn't want it on, so.
I kicked you for what reason?
No, you didn't kick me. You just didn't want it on to me. You docked my whole argument.
I ducked your whole argument? No,
yeah, you won D not scared of me. I don't know why you guys don't want to.
No one's scared of you.
Yes, you are. So answer my question.
What question? You haven't even asked me a question yet.
So why are trans women?
Okay, so this doesn't have to relate to the topic, but I'll answer because they meet my definition of woman. Didn't we already have this conversation?
Okay, so if I meet your definition
are you
of a
Christian?
white person,
Brooke, are you Christian?
Hey, let's not pivot back. Let me ask you a question.
No, we're not pivoting. I'm just asking. Are you Christian? You asked me a question. I get to ask you a question, right? Is that how this works?
Okay. I know I'm not Christian.
You're not Christian. Are you religious at all?
No. I don't want to talk about religious.
Oh, so you are religious. Wait, can you say Jesus Christ is not your Lord and Savior?
That's blasphemy. Wait, so hold on. Can I ask you a question? You say hold on. Okay, so you said that a woman is a person that meets your. You said a woman is a.
Okay, so I'm just gonna stop you there. So you are Christian. You just lied, by the way. So you sinned on my live stream. So I have a question. God the Father. Does God the Father have XY chromosomes? Brooke, can you tell me? Does God the Father have XY chromosomes?
No, he's eternal.
No, he doesn't. So if God the Father doesn't have XY chromosomes, why can you use he/him pronouns to relate to him and reference him? And why is he considered a father?
Because you wouldn't understand from a spiritual standpoint.
Oh, okay. So gender is not biological. Oh, wait. So gender isn't biological, right?
Could I please just ask you a question?
Wait, no. Just acknowledge this first. Gender is not biological, correct? Brooke, are you there? Gender is not biological. Can you agree with me there? You muted yourself, but I didn't even mute you.
Hello?
Do you agree that gender is not biological?
Gender has something to do with, like, being biological. So you need, in order to define gender, you need a sex, and sex is biological.
Oh, does God the Father have any sex?
You're trying to be disingenuous, Parker.
No, I'm not. God the Father has no biological sex.
Well, you're an atheist, so you wouldn't understand. That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
so it doesn't make no sense.
Brooke, I have turned my life to Christ. I'm Christian.
Okay, so why are you being disingenuous?
I'm not. I am just trying to tell you that your Lord and Savior, prior to incarnation, had no biology, no biological sex characteristics, yet you still call him a father.
If you're a Christian, why are you saying my Lord and Savior? Shouldn't he be your Lord and Savior as well?
I did. I said our Lord and Savior.
No, you didn't. You said my Lord and Savior.
Oh, I apologize. Our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, okay. Thank God that you turned over. Praise God.
Yeah. No, I've turned my life to Christ. Can you answer my question now?
Okay, cool. No, I wanted to ask you a question.
No. Brooke, you have to answer this first. Like, again, our Lord and Savior, prior to incarnation, had no biological sex characteristics, yet we still refer to him with he/him pronouns and as a father. So it must be that gender in this context is not biological. Do you agree with that at least?
If you're speaking from a spiritual standpoint, with the father, it basically means like alpha. So he's in charge, like, you know.
So it doesn't mean biological sex characteristics?
It doesn't mean like human. He wouldn't be God if he was a human. So human things doesn't go for him.
So Jesus isn't God because Jesus is human?
Jesus came down in human form because he had to come down.
Oh, okay. So he's human and God. Okay. So let me just clarify. Prior to incarnation, again, no biological sex characteristics, yet they still are considered with he/him pronouns and a man, and to be a father. Yet again, your idea of gender said that it had to rely on biology. No, it doesn't.
Hold on, you didn't even let me talk. You didn't even let me talk.
Is non-biological.
Can I talk?
No.
So okay, you said
no.
See, you're being disingenuous because you know I'm going to cook you. Let me talk, and I will explain to you everything.
Okay.
You said being a woman is a person that meets you requires. Okay, you're gonna keep doing this?
Yeah.
Bro, because you know I'm gonna cook you if you let me talk, I'll cook you.
No, it's just really funny.
This is what you do when you're losing, bro.
Yeah, I'm not losing right now. You just said you couldn't even run your argument yet. How could I be losing if you couldn't run your argument?
Because could I identify as white?
No, because I don't think all social constructs are used the same. Just because I can change my name doesn't mean I can change my race, even though they're both social constructs.
Okay, could I talk? So, what was your definition of woman?
Yeah, an adult human person that's committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex is a prescription of their identity.
Okay, so cool. So could a dyke be a man just because?
Don't say that, bro. You're trying to say someone who's lesbian, right?
I'm saying a person who tries to be masculine Are they man?
Dude, we're talking about someone who's wait, are you trying to say lesbian? Because you just used a slur, right? Do you at least acknowledge that what you said was wrong?
They call that something.
Yeah, that's considered a slur.
Oh well, I'm sorry, Dick Dog. I don't know why you guys are so sensitive.
Don't just say I'm sorry to TikTok. Say sorry to people that are affected by that.
Oh, sorry, people. Yeah, I was saying. So, would they be considered man?
So someone specifically who is a woman, right, who doesn't have the commitments towards certain social and cultural norms with a prescription of their identity would be considered a woman because they have commitments towards the certain social and cultural norms are typically associated with the female sex as a prescription of their identity. So again, when we're saying it's not that you just engage with the social characteristics. Like, for example, I have certain feminine characteristics. Right. Okay. And because I have those feminine characteristics does not necessarily mean that I am a woman.
Makes you a woman, right?
No.
Exactly. It goes to your sex.
No, it doesn't. Listen.
Yes, it does.
Hey, listen.
So what makes you a male?
Listen, I'm going to explain to you. If you don't want to let me explain to you, I will kick you. Okay? I'm going to explain. I'm going to continue to explain. Please stop. So again, in this context, it doesn't mean that I'm a woman because I don't have a commitment towards those certain social and cultural norms as a prescription of my identity. Does that make sense? Me being committed to those particular types of social norms is not as a prescription of my identity.
Okay, right? So you're basically
having
saying
those certain characteristics does not mean that I have a desire to be in accordance with those characteristics as a prescription of my identity. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you're basically saying that because you don't try to be a woman.
And by the way, for the person in the chat that keeps saying description and not prescription, it is prescription because we're talking about what we should be considered, right? That's not necessarily what someone is being described as what someone should be described as. That's what I'm using in the context to refer to that. That's why I say prescription.
So you're basically saying because you don't try to be a woman, then that means you're not a woman. So if I don't try to be white, then that means I'm not white? Or if I try to be white, does that make me white?
This is so dishonest because, again, not all social constructs.
What do you mean so dishonest?
Yeah, cut me off one more time, I'll kick you. Try again. Do it one more time, I dare you. Again, all social constructs do the exact same thing. So because you can choose your name, and that's a social construct, does not mean that you can choose your race, because that's also a social construct. You think that all social constructs operate the same. I don't. I think it's absurd to think that all social constructs operate the exact same.
Okay, so I can't choose my sex, right?
No, you can't choose your biological sex.
Okay, cool. So what gives you your gender? Your sex, right?
No, I think that gender is a commitment towards certain social and cultural norms as a prescription of your identity.
Okay, so what would I call you? Could I call you a man or a woman?
I'm a man.
Okay.
You cut out of the app.
Why are you a man?
Because I have I have a desire to be in accordance with certain sets of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the male sex as a prescription of my identity.
So you're a man because...
Why is he laughing at that? That's a coherent definition.
Because you sound so dumb.
I don't.
Sound so dumb.
If it doesn't sound dumb to you, type 3 in the comment section. And if the guest sounds dumb to you, type 3 in the comment section. Of course they're gonna ride your bike, bro. Of course they're gonna ride. You're laughing for no reason. You're not giving an biological sex. Oh, okay.
But I just said it was in the
actually
scene.
Does describe himself as a mother. He says like a hen, I will shelter you under my wings. So when he describes himself as like something that's associated with mothers, is he a mother then?
No, he's the father.
Okay.
But okay.
So the point that I'm making.
A father shelters as well. What do you mean?
Hey,
he said hen. He said, like a hen, I shelter my children with my wings. He didn't say like a rooster. He said like a hen.
You guys are just being disingenuous. You're not trying to understand my logic. You understand my logic. I'm trying to bring.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the next person. Alrighty, Paige, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much, Paige. I really appreciate it. Christina, thank you so much for the $10 for all hail All hail the almighty Pieces. Thank you so much. Dillingham, thank you so much for the $4. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, he's absurd. I should have brought up mandatory vasectomies, actually. Ellen, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Apparently, he gets really pissed whenever you bring up mandatory vasectomies, so we should have done that.
Oh. Probably takes away from his sense of masculinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's embarrassing, though, because, like, literally his own argument necessarily entails that gender is not always viewed in a biological sense. All right, everyone, if you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Chalupa Batman, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Smile, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's diabolical. Yeah, and that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. Thank you so much, Smile. I really appreciate it, as always. Thank you. Angie, thank you so much for the $1.50. Thank you. I know, right? Arguing against corporate greed as somebody who's a MAGA supporter is diabolical. Like, seriously, that was embarrassing. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Parker and Dean live battle. Parker and Dean live battle.
we actually are going to be doing one later when I go see him. After this live stream, here I'll be done in like 30 minutes or so. I'm going to go drive and see Dean.
Nice.
That will be fun. That will be fun. And so we will be doing one later tonight, I bet. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yeah, and we'll have some IRL peen content. Like, I actually think that, like, I brought up an idea to Dean, and we might end up doing it. I thought it would be fun.
Oh, God. They're going to get wild.
Yeah.
Parker and Dean are together. Shit happens.
You said aliens. You said aliens. You said aliens.
Oh my gosh, not that. Oh my God. I remember that.
That aliens. Wait.
Do you remember that one time where it's this one troll that always like debates, or he's not like a troll, but he debates on the stream all the time, and there was like this huge disagreement about whether or not he said immigrants or aliens.
Oh yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched back the clip. I think you can hear either of them, regardless of if I try to hear aliens, I hear aliens. If I try to hear immigrants, I hear immigrants.
So it's like that, like Lanny and Yanny thing. You remember back in the day when you heard the audio?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually exactly like that, and there's a lot of people on like Reddit that hate me because of it.
That's funny.
They think I'm like dishonest for actually genuinely thinking that you could hear either or. But yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 22.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably would pick if ideally there was another Republican candidate, I would pick them. But if we had no choice, then I would have to go with Donald Trump. But I will say this, Parker. I just came up here to ask you about something earlier, if that's okay with you.
I apologize. I'm just looking for people who specifically are debating. But I appreciate you very much for coming up. Appreciate you very much. Let's go on to the next person here. Real quick, we are just looking for some debates for people who specifically who still do support Donald Trump, everybody. Alrighty, yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to click this. I'm sorry.
You're good. Don't worry. Let's go on to the next individual. We've got like 25 minutes or so left on the live, everyone. 25 minutes or so left on the live. We are just looking for some debates. Let's get the next individual up here real quick.
From New Zealand.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
No, but I just want to say love from New Zealand.
No, appreciate you. Alrighty, Catherine, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it on Venmo. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. I really appreciate it. Can we some W's for Catherine as well in the comment section? Lorraine, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $25 on PayPal as well. Thank you so much, Lorraine. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for all the kind words, everyone. Y'all are so nice. Thank you so much. Seriously, that is so kind of y'all. By the way, everyone, my Cash App is still down, and I still have no response about it. I honestly don't know if I'll ever end up getting it back.
Boo.
I know, right? It's kind of sad.
Big boo.
It is a big boo. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh, they just left. It'll be fun to go see Dean, though. I haven't seen Dean in a minute, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm 18. I'm 18. I was just wondering, why do you support Kamala?
How old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
April 1st, 2007.
Okay, and if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
I just think he's a better candidate than Kamala Harris.
Okay, and why do you think that he's a better candidate than Kamala Harris?
I just like his policies more.
Such as?
Like how he runs like the White House and that.
What about it?
Well, I don't think Kamala can run it as well as he can and create peace between others.
Okay, so you think he creates more peace? The guy calling for execution of some Democrats because they said not to follow unlawful orders. The guy who's currently bombing boats off the coast of Venezuela with absolutely no evidence given to Congress that they had DRUGS in the first place, while also pardoning a convicted sea drug trafficker.
I mean, what do you think Kamala would do better?
Kamala?
Yeah.
What do I think she would do better? Well, I think that she would specifically advocate for tax cuts for working class Americans and people in need. I think that she wouldn't be causing the same level of conflict as Donald Trump is, especially by imposing tariffs, which causes trade wars and negative impacts in relations with our allies. Plenty of things.
She would be fighting with Russia.
I agree with that.
Okay, so then why do you support Trump?
I feel like he has more positives.
Such as?
I mean, shit. Low key. I might change. I was thinking about I'm not really here for the I don't know much about either, but I was trying to get more information about which one's better.
Okay, well, Donald Trump, there's so many reasons to indicate he's worse. He not only is increasing taxes on working class Americans in order to give massive tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires by imposing tariffs and replacing that income tax with those tariffs. That is just essentially shifting the burden of taxation. He's also cutting off millions of people off their access to food through food stamps and health care and health insurance through Medicaid. We can also point to the fact that he was held civilly liable of forcibly penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will, unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people. We can also point to the fact that he bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where an 18-year-old came out said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He sexualized his daughter on countless occasions, saying yeah to Howard Stern, calling his daughter a piece of ass, saying his daughter is voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive, saying he had sex in common with his daughter when she said real estate and golf, and saying he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter.
All right, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to learn a little more from you, honestly.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go on to the next individual real quick. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Everyone, we're on the route to 3,000 likes. I think we have 2,100 here on YouTube right now. Let's try to get to 3,000. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And then as soon as I'm done here in about 20 minutes, everyone, we're going to go and I'm going to drive and go see Dean, everyone. That'll be fun. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Eden Park alive, bottle! Yippee!
Yo, what's up? How old are you? William, how old are you? Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates.
Oh, his thing just used to.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Did I join? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to join.
And I accidentally expanded your account. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming. Appreciate you. Don't worry. Kim, think of the $10 for Have Fun with Dean. We will. It'll be a fun time.
Be home by 10.
Where's Dean? Dean's in LA for Jubilee, so I'll get to go see him. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Not someone spamming DUI in the comment section, bro. I am not elevated right now. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates.
Hey, what's up?
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
29.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Donald Trump?
Like a lot of the things he's doing, like with innovation and bringing in investments.
Innovation and investment. So did you know that real domestic manufacturing investment has declined since Trump got in office?
What does that stand for?
Domestic manufacturing investment?
You said real domestic manufacturing investment?
Real means accounting for inflation. Domestic means within the country. And manufacturing, you know what manufacturing is, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
we're manufacturing less goods, or we're building less factories?
There's less investment towards building manufacturing in this country comparative to what there was prior.
Is that accurate? Because
yes, you can find this from the Bureau of Economic
Analysis. $1 trillion.
Yeah, so those are just pledges of certain claims of amount of money. There's no 100% certainty that that's going to happen. And if you look at the overall market, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis,
I like the pledges that he's bringing in from all these companies in other countries to build factories in our country.
Well, the issue is that none of this is actually recouped in terms of real investment. Secondly, if you want to look at the...
So you're saying none of it...
Can I please finish without you cutting me off? I don't want to have to mute you every single time I speak.
Okay.
Do I need to mute you every single time I speak? Or what do you want to clarify? Go for it.
Yeah. So were you saying that none of them have started any type of construction or any type of manufacturing? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it hasn't led to an overall increase in the level of domestic manufacturing that we've seen in our country in terms of investment. So if we saw an increase in the investment, that would be showing that the investments that were claimed that were going to be brought to our country are leading to an overall increase. The issue is that there is no basis for that, because when you impose tariffs, that increases the cost of trade, therefore disincentivizing investment. So there's actually going to be less investment in our nation because of the imposition of tariffs, because it causes not only the cost of manufacturing investment to go up in this country, and it disincentivizes manufacturing in this country, but also because we haven't seen an increase in that investment.
Yeah, I think it does the opposite. And I also think that's a little disingenuous, because some of these commitments are throughout the next 4 years. So some of them haven't started yet. So I do think that's a little bit disingenuous, and I definitely think it incentivizes them to move here, and that's why you're seeing so many countries and so many companies make these commitments.
Yeah, so
they weren't making these big of commitments before, and then now all of a sudden they are. Like with the Biden CHIPS Act. I think that Meta alone invested about twice as much as that whole CHIPS Act, just from them.
Those are just verbal
and that's
claims.
To build infrastructure, AI.
And I don't. What's the comparison number? Alongside the fact that if you want to look at the level of investment, in order for it to carry over in terms of jobs, there would have to be an increase in the amount of. In order for it to carry over in terms of jobs, there has to be an increase in the level of investment that would then carry over to jobs.
Right. There's definitely a huge investment.
Go ahead.
There's definitely a huge increase in foreign investment and investment from other countries or from companies. That is definitely for sure.
False. We've actually seen a decline in the level of investment into our country's manufacturing investment.
Well, just look at the investment Meta made under Biden and then compare it to the one made under Trump. I mean, that one alone.
No investment has been made.
Just about every company. There was an investment under Biden that Meta made. Oh, sorry. That Meta did make a commitment under Biden, yes, but it was substantially less.
And again, it's dependent on what they do, not what they say. Trump just wants to hear people say, you don't have a tiny penis, right? We need actual reason to believe that this would happen.
Yeah, that's so they can avoid the tariffs. So definitely they have an incentive to do it.
Yeah, but you know what they're banking on, right? They're banking on the fact that the Supreme Court will find them to be unconstitutional, and then they'll have to get a refund on all that money, and then they won't be actually obligated to do anything anyway.
That doesn't sound right to me, but
Well, what do you mean?
I think that's a lot
The
of money
court
to
is
come
likely. The court has already indicated that they're more likely than not to say that it is unconstitutional, and so they're banking on that. Plus, they're banking on the fact that they.
So we're going to have to pay for all the factories that they're building and all the infrastructure. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
If it is ruled unconstitutional, Trump has to pay the companies back. Trump has to pay the company back.
That sounds crazy. I don't think that would.
You think that sounds crazy, but that's the law.
Yeah. If they're committing to building infrastructure and building facilities over here, they're taking a risk. That's not going to be all on the country. They wouldn't be able to sue for all that.
They already are suing. There are dozens of lawsuits currently.
Yes, but
which
to
is why
pay
the
for
Treasury
brand new
Department-
factories and infrastructure, we would not be paying.
Which is why the Treasury Department right now is already trying to safeguard that money, because they know that if by next year they are found to be unconstitutional, they'll have to pay back hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's why there are already lawsuits that are claiming that is their money.
Okay.
So they're banking on several things, which is what they always do, is they make it as a promise for 4 or 5 years, and they're hoping that they'll just ride through the storm.
Dude, I don't know if you know what you're talking about there. I think you're onto something. You might be referring to lost funds that they might have occurred
Dude,
under this.
I'm sorry that
they're not going to pay for their factories. That doesn't sound right.
This has been news. Day by day news.
Can you show me where legally we would be obligated to pay for factories?
You can go on Google right now.
And infrastructure.
I put it in my Substack.
No, I asked
link
you
in the bio.
because you made the claim, right?
If you go to
you made the claim, but you can't back it up.
Yeah.
From now on, and I would like for you to do the same.
Okay. Race response. Companies are now filing dozens of lawsuits to make sure that they are paid back when and if the Supreme Court will invalidate some of those duties.
Okay, right. Paid back for what?
The tariffs.
Yeah, right. Well, they're not paying for the factories that they're building over here, right? Show us what they're paying for, if they do win the lawsuit.
Wait, were you making the case that they're getting the investment in order to not get the tariff money? Because
I was making the case that they're investing all this.
You said they're investing. You said they're investing because they don't want to get tariffed. But if the tariffs are found unconstitutional, then they, one, have to get paid back, and two, that takes the incentive for them to actually fund this country.
But I also said that we're not going to be paying for their factories and stuff that they build over here. That's just
sure. They would just say we're not building them here because there's
right.
no
That's
reason.
That sounds logical, right? But what you're saying is that we would have to pay for their factories. That wouldn't happen.
We would have to pay for the tariffs back, which is the reason why they're trying to invest to get not get the tariffs.
That's what I tried to clarify with you before you went on this spiel. I said, are you referring to money that lost wages or things like that?
No.
And then you said no, you were referring to the factories that I'm talking about that they're building here.
Wait, okay.
And then now you're saying that they just wouldn't build the factories.
The factories would not have to be built because the reason that you gave, which is the tariffs, would no longer be in effect.
Right, but that's different from us having to pay for it, right?
Christ. Okay,
what you were
let's
saying.
just move on. Okay, look. Okay.
Yeah, you're cooked on that one.
No, I'm
unless you can show me something where we would have to pay for those factories, I would say you should concede on that.
Pay for the factories? They're not even building them yet. You said it takes 4 or 5 years of investment.
You said that they would pay for those factories, right?
Hey, Dark and Mysterious, how many times do I have to tell you to not do this? These conversations right now are not even, I can't even follow the conversation completely because the amount of interruptions that are happening. Please stop. Jesus fuck, dude. This is impossible to actually hear the whole conversation.
I don't know when he's ending or not.
When I'm ending,
well,
you're the one arguing with me.
Okay, I'll mute you, and whenever he's done, I'll unmute you because you can't figure out whenever he's going to be done speaking. Okay, go for it, Matt. And I'm going to do the same on both sides because I don't want to hear any more interruptions. I can't do it.
The only thing I was mentioning was about the tariffs. He brought up tariffs as a reason. I was simply saying that gets rid of the investment for them to want to invest in this country because they didn't have to pay the tariff back, that's all I was saying. I wouldn't say anything about them paying back factories or anything like that. I was simply talking about tariffs.
So yeah, that's just disingenuous. I was specifically talking about infrastructure and factories that they're building, and you told me that we would have to pay.
Okay, I'm not reiterating my point.
Matt, let's let him finish. Matt, let's let him finish. I don't want to keep dealing with his interruptions.
Yeah, please let me finish.
Yeah, and I'm just saying you're covering your mic. Mysterious. Can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for calling him out on that. He's been doing that the whole time.
You need to shut the fuck up. You've been doing it the whole time.
Sure have.
Go ahead, make your point.
That was my point. I just got him.
No, I couldn't.
I just got him to back down what he was saying.
In between. So just clarify. What was your point?
Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is that he heard what I said because he responded, right?
If you don't repeat what you have to say, I'm just going to kick you and get off for today, dude. You're being so insufferable. Just say what you want to fucking say. Holy shit.
Am I really, though? I literally just said it, and now I have to repeat myself because you didn't hear, because you wanted to say something?
No, because I couldn't hear you.
Okay. So basically what I'm saying is I was referring to factories and infrastructure when he told me that we would have to pay for all of that. So obviously he was wrong, and he figured that out.
Go ahead, Matt.
That's not what I said. I'm sorry, that's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not what I said. No, he mentioned tariffs. All I'm going to say is he mentioned tariffs as a reason why they're investing in this country. I was simply making the point that investment, that reason would be gone if they had to pay back the tariff because they were found to be unconstitutional. That's the point I was making because I heard the word tariff, and that's when I jumped in. I didn't jump in when you were talking about the investment part. I made no claim about them paying back factories. I never said the word factory. I said tariffs.
Yeah, that's why I tried to clarify, and I specifically said factories, and you doubled down on it.
I doubled down on the fact that they would have to pay back the tariffs, which would get rid of the investment.
You couldn't actually bring anything up. So, could you let me finish?
Okay. He's being disingenuous. I'm sorry, but you can play it back.
Okay,
I never said that.
Yeah, play it back.
I only have 5 minutes left. I can't do that. Can you just acknowledge the point? Say you had a misclarification. He didn't mean that. He meant to reference.
Yeah, just say you had a misclarification. Yeah, that works. But even though I went to clarify it with him, it's weird that he's backing down off of it. But whatever.
Dude, he was saying that from the very beginning. He didn't back down on it because of that.
Okay.
This is you being dishonest. You understand that?
It clearly isn't.
You have an issue with interrupting. Shut the fuck up. It's unbelievable, okay? If you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. But the way that you're conducting yourself right now makes it impossible to do that. If you want to clarify, you can clarify. But as soon as we're done speaking, is that okay?
Oh, are you done? Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, go ahead. What do you want to clarify?
Oh, I've already made my point. I'm pretty sure we're ready to move on. Matt's cooked.
No, I couldn't hear you because you were cutting me off.
Nice and fried up.
Yeah, so I couldn't hear you because you were saying it in the middle of my sentence. So would you like to repeat?
What did you hear? So I know where to start.
Oh, I couldn't hear any of it because you were cutting me off.
Okay, then let's just move on because obviously you don't understand what we're talking about.
Oh, I do. I just want you to clarify. You have an issue with clarifying. It seems like you're running away from the topic because you don't want to actually clarify what you had to say because you were being disingenuous.
What is the topic? What is the topic?
Yeah, we were talking about, he was clarifying that he was talking about tariffs, and you're trying to claim that he was referencing about factories when the entire time all he was talking about was tariffs, and you were trying to impose that you were talking about factories. Again, the claim that he was making was separate from the claim that you were making. So again, you can't say that he was referencing exactly what you were, and that's why he was wrong, when he's clarifying that he wasn't referencing that the whole time.
So yeah, obviously I started the conversation, right? And I was talking about infrastructure and factories specifically. He intervened and said that we would have to pay for those, right? That's why I'm saying he definitely was referring to factories at first.
No, Parker, I'm going to say this one more time, and then I'm moving on.
So I can't
Dark, you
change what
said
he
the
says
word tariffs. You explicitly said tariffs. That's when I jumped in.
Well, what did I
because
say?
you said that they're probably doing it because they don't want to pay tariffs. I said that makes no sense because if they don't have to pay the tariffs, then they have no investment opportunity. That's my entire point. I said nothing about factories.
Oh, okay. All right. So you just you didn't hear what I said then. You just misquoted me for sure right there. So yeah, he was asking why would they do that? And I said tariffs would incentivize it. I said incentivize.
And I said if they didn't have to pay the tariffs because they're unconstitutional, what would give them the incentive to actually be in this country because they'd have to pay it back? Pay it back referring to the tariffs.
Yes, and that's when I clarified and I said, "Are you talking about?" You didn't clarify. Are you talking
you went
about
after
the
me
factories?
You said I was talking about the factories, and I said no.
Okay.
I'm talking about the tariffs.
This is the most stupid argument I've ever had in my life.
Well,
you
you're
literally
being
can't back down from what you said. You can't concede to what you said, so you're going to try to make me backtrack on everything.
What? He's just repeating what he was specifically saying, and you're trying to superimpose more particular context.
Because he misinterpreted something I said, and then when I clarified it with him, he still didn't understand what I was saying. So
I think you were misinterpreting actually what he said as well, right? If you're going to make that
obviously
claim.
Obviously not, because I went to clarify what he was talking about, right?
Yeah, you clarified from your perspective, but then he also clarified from his perspective.
So yeah, I said, are you talking about money that they lost due to tariffs? And he said, no. I'm talking, and he said that he was talking about the factories. That's how I know.
No, he didn't. You dishonest fuck. You're such a liar. You're such a gaslighter.
Hey, go back and rewatch it.
This guy's so gaslighting. Dude, it's embarrassing, bro. Dude, what are you gaslighting for?
I literally clarified with him, but you can rewatch it.
You didn't.
After this,
you tried to claim victory on something that you clearly misunderstood.
No. All I asked was for him to show proof that we would have to pay for the factories, and then he went to look it up, and he couldn't find proof.
No,
and then
why would I show you something I never claimed?
Something different.
That's the part that makes no sense.
Now that he can't find the evidence, it's a whole different.
No, because
topic.
I wasn't making the claim.
He's trying to
about
change move the goalpost, right?
No, I'm sorry. You could ask
and I remember specifically telling him.
You could ask the people who have been watching this entire.
We would never have to pay. We would never have to pay for their factories. Is what I told him. Specifically told him we would never have to pay for factories, and he told me I was wrong. And then when he went to look it up, he couldn't provide us with any evidence. And then now we're here. We've done repeated.
How many more times does he have to clarify to you? He never was referencing factories. Never once was he referencing factories.
I was referencing.
Yes, you're referencing because of the fact that there are tariffs. That it's
and
going to
he
increase.
Interrupted what I was saying and told me that we would have to pay for those.
Let me respond after this. Okay. Let me respond. So in this scenario, what you're not understanding, if we'll bring in factors, I'll try to run us to a productive dialogue because clearly us talking about what happened isn't going to move
this
anywhere.
is stupid.
I don't care if you think it's stupid. Let me clarify. Now, if you want to talk about tariffs, right? If there was a greater incentive for there to be an increase in manufacturing in this country, then there would have actually been an increase in the level of manufacturing, given that there's been multiple months of tariffs being implemented in the first place. We would see a change in the level of investment as people are changing the investment to be whatever is going to lead to most profit.
I gave you an example.
He's cutting me off
right?
instead of listening. What's going to lead to the most profit maximizing condition? The reason why it's not in the United States is because imported goods, right, that are a part of the manufacturing process, 1/3 of materials are from imported goods, right, increase the cost of materials, right, to produce goods in the United States. So if there's an increased cost in the domestic manufacturing, then there's going to be a disincentive to invest in that manufacturing in our country. And that's why we've seen multiple months of decline in the level of manufacturing growth or manufacturing investment in this country compared to the massive boom that we saw under the Biden-Harris administration.
So yeah, we can do easy comparisons right now. Just look up how much Meta pledged to invest under Biden real quick, and then we can compare that to Trump, and we can do that with NVIDIA. We can do that with China. We can do that with South Korea. We can do it with Taiwan. There's a substantial increase in investment into this country right now from all these different companies and,
Liar.
Look it up. Look it up.
Literally, look at this.
Meta specifically. AI private fixed investment.
There's no AI.
So
it says real private fixed investment, non-residential structures manufacturing. Okay, take a look at this graph. This is from the Bureau of Economic
So
Analysis.
you don't want to look up the
listen. If you don't let me speak, I'm just going to kick you.
Right?
If you don't let me speak, I'm going to kick you. Stop.
But you're
talking.
ignoring what I said.
Stop
right?
talking, and I won't be able to make my point.
I
Jesus fuck, this guy's so dishonest. Shut the fuck up. I will make my point regardless. If you keep unmuting yourself and keep trying to speak and not let me make the point, I will kick you. Stop talking.
I think we're done
Stop
here.
talking. Stop talking. I'm making the point right now.
You're not going to bring up.
You're cutting me off. I am making.
So you're not going to bring up.
Let me make this point, and then we can talk about what you'd like to.
You won't.
This dishonest fuck won't let me make the point. Okay, stop talking. He left himself. Dishonest piece of shit. Look at this. This is when Trump gets in office originally in his first term. This is when he leaves office. That's in terms of the level of investment. This is when Biden gets in office. This is when Biden leaves. And then look at the level of decline since he got into that office. So there's not this increase in the overall level of investment. So if you want to make a comparison in the level of investment, look at the investment that's actually occurring. Accounting for inflation, we see a decline in the level of investment. It's dishonest for you to make a claim that there's going to be an increase in the level of investment. If you want to look at the different countries, specifically that have different levels of investment, that would show off in the level of investment that we see within the country in terms of manufacturing. If countries from around the world are bringing their manufacturing back to this country, we would see it on this graph. We don't see it on this graph because, again, this is not causing an increase in the level of manufacturing that we've seen because of increased manufacturing costs in this country because of the fact that materials as an aspect of this of the manufacturing process have gone up in cost. And he ran away because he knows that he's wrong, and he knows that after I make this point, it disproves his whole point because it takes into account all of the different countries bringing their countries bringing their investment to this country. It's embarrassing that he had to do that and then tried to claim victory. That's embarrassing. He had no understanding of economics. He didn't even care to do the research. He didn't even understand that this is referencing all of these different countries that are bringing back manufacturing in the country, and it still shows that there's a lesser amount of investment in the country as it relates to manufacturing, accounting for inflation. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Matt. That guy was insufferable. I have to get
No,
off
it's
that.
all right. No, I know what I said. There's no reason why I would mention paying back for factories. It makes no fucking sense. He said the word tariff. I responded when he said tariff. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm sticking to my guns, and I know what I said. So, okay. Well, you have a good night out, Park. You take care of yourself, okay?
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to get off right now. Thank you, everyone, so much. I don't have anyone to catch up on Venmo or PayPal. Let me make sure I'm caught up on YouTube. If I am, I'll get off. I would recommend everyone to check out the YouTube videos that I have posted today. I would really, really, really appreciate it. I would appreciate it so much. Kim, thank you so much for the $10 for Have Fun with Dean. Baraka, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $10. AJ, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you. I think I'm fully caught up everywhere. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. I love y'all so much.